Hello again, superstars. My name is Aaron, and this time I'm the president of the moon, and this is the SuperPod Saga. That's right, it's the SuperPod Saga, the show you're listening to right now, the show where usually Tommy and I will take turns choosing a different topic and discuss every last bit about that topic. And then we go into a vegetative state, and we're never to be heard from again. But this time, Tommy he's got a debilitating tummy ache from eating entirely too much edible underwear, and unfortunately his wife is out of town and unable to help him. So rip Tommy, everybody. Rip Tommy. Press F for Tommy.
Did you hear that? I'm pressing it. Pressing it a lot.
Unfortunately, though, yeah, like you heard, I've got two fantastic gentlemen joining me again, returning from part one of the glorious sixth generation. I've got, of course, Thrak and Nave. Hey, welcome back.
Aloha.
Hello. My Vikings are doing terribly, and I am in agony. But other than that, I'm doing just fine.
Oh man, no,
we're not talking sports.
That's
thank goodness.
I'll get mad.
Yep, this time around we're talking about the thrilling climactic conclusion to the glorious sixth generation. We're talking about the GameCube and the original Xbox. Two heavy hitters, honestly. Like the Dreamcast and PS2 had a lot of hits, but I mean there's honestly I'd say not a bad console that generation. Like they all had some pretty good shit.
I think as far as let's disqualify the games, like their game libraries and everything. As far as consoles are concerned, these are the best two sixth generation consoles at describing themselves within the name.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
Though the PlayStation 2 is very to the point. It's the second PlayStation.
That's true. And the Dreamcast, you still know what the fuck it's trying to say, unless you like turn it on. You hear like they're like where it's like grinding on the disc and shit.
It's dreaming.
Sega's future was only in its dreams.
Well, yeah, gentlemen, either one of you can start. Where can people find you and or your respective podcasts?
I guess I'll go first. I'm Nave. I'm on 1 HP in a fucking dream. And I come from Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast. We talk about cooperative games, kind of. I don't know what we're talking about lately, so you're just going to... It's a Russian roulette of maybe we're playing something good, and maybe we are fighting amongst ourselves with the terrible choices that Philip makes me do.
Nice. Where can people find you on, like, social media or, like, I guess what podcast players and stuff?
We're on X. We're at Game Together Pod. And we're on Facebook. I don't know what Philip does over there. And, we're on podcast catchers wherever you want to find us. We're not really doing YouTube because it's a hard grind over there.
So do you upload videos on X?
No. Sometimes.
So you don't have X videos?
I love X videos. I peruse.
Yeah, videos on X.
No X hamster. Nobody should have to use X hamster.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about videos on the X platform, X videos.
I'm so fucking lost. Hey, Thrak, where can people find your show on social media and podcatchers and all that stuff?
Well, good. I'm glad to lose you. All right.
Okay.
So I am the not working half of the 3DO experience with Bill from Gaming and Collecting, who does all the work, and I just show up and talk shit. But it's the good half to be. I guess we're doing Spooky Month because we just recently did the 3DO game D.
That's a good one.
I don't know about that. and so probably by the time this comes out, we will have done the original Alone in the Dark, which I've been playing, and I have some opinions on it, but save those for the show. But wherever you're listening to this, you can find the 3DO experience, and also I pop up randomly on other shows, so keep an eye out for me. I'm a little bit like herpes. I keep coming back.
There's no cure for you.
Why would there be?
Exactly. I'm eternal.
The burn reminds me I'm alive.
Can Dracula get AIDS?
Is Dracula in Bloodborne?
I hope so.
Well, that's H.P. Lovecraft, so it'd be better than his cat.
And when Dracula, everybody knows that Dracula was flipping bricks for Masa Musa before we were even a Type 1 civilization. So, I mean, he's probably got a lot under his belt.
Oh yeah,
You got a lot of balls bringing up H.P. Lovecraft's cat. I know his name. Audience. It's a really bad word. Don't ever say the word.
Like, think of the worst word you know. Yeah, that's it. Good job. Congratulations.
None of us are allowed to say it. Well, I mean, we can say it, but it wouldn't go well.
Yeah,
so
that cat is a regular guest on our show for Gaming Together, actually.
You love it.
Every time you refer to it, it's just like, bleep.
Yeah. Every time we go to a break and you can't hear us anymore, we fade away. We're talking to that cat.
It's like the one sketch, I forget where it's from, where like the one white guy is talking to like the one black guy, and every time the white guy wants to say the obvious word, he has like a black guy next to him who just says it for him.
The gamer word.
Did you guys word?
Oh my god.
The 360 word.
I think it was Kendrick Lamar got this white guy on stage, and the white guy said the N-word in the song.
It was.
Do you remember that? Or is it a girl? I can't remember.
Yeah, because I think he was doing Good Kid, Mad City. Like I think the title track, and she was just saying it.
Yeah,
and
hilarious.
And he stopped the song. He's like, "What are you doing?"
But it's like, why did he do that?
And she's like, "What do you mean? It's the song. I'm just vibing." He's like, "Stop. Go back to your seat."
There's a fucking really funny video on YouTube of this Asian dude with glasses, and he's like this nerd-looking guy, and it's like how to sing a song if a rapper invites you on stage, and it is like that super offensive like 2003 like song, and he just sits there. It's just the N-word over and over again, and he's just sitting there holding his microphone, not saying anything. It's so funny.
I thought you were gonna bring up the that one like little tiny Asian guy from American Idol, where he's like, what the fuck song was he singing? Like, she bangs.
William Hung.
Yeah, William Hung like a fucking horse.
How did I pull that name out of me?
Billy Hung, dude.
Dude, I randomly did that too. On our last episode of our show, we were randomly talking about the Matrix, and I don't know why, but we were talking. He was talking. My co-host Philip.
Philip, yes,
he is my Philip. No one else's. He randomly was like, "Who is the person that tells Neo and Morpheus what to do?" And I'm just like, Tank. And I'm like, why do I know that? Like, it is Tank. I'm 100% sure, but I don't know why I knew that like right away. It just came out of my brain.
Dude, there was that episode that I did on my own with the Elder Scrolls, and I had Tommy listen to it because I thought it was pretty fucking hilarious. But they're all great guys. But fucking, there was a part where we were talking about the actor who plays Tobias in Arrested Development. And like immediately I was like, oh, David Cross, like fuck yeah, have you guys ever seen Small Soldiers? And Tommy was giving me shit. He was like, how the fuck do you know this stupid garbage? And it's like, well, that's my whole childhood, dude. I watched Small Soldiers a million times and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I had it on VHS.
Yeah, me
I watched
too, man.
it a bunch. I had some of the toys, man.
Dude.
I had who was the main like Gorgonite? Why do I can remember Gorgonites, but I can't remember the
He
main
always
one.
says his name, and then he is the leader of the Gorgonites. But that's weird.
Emissary of the Gorgonites. But like I had him. I had like a toy of him as a kid.
It's probably Gartog.
What the fuck?
Right.
That's my new Bloodborne name. Gartog.
All right, hold on. Let me look up the Small Soldiers wiki because I'm sure one exists.
I need to know this name. I cannot remember it.
Archer.
Yes. That was never.
I
wonder why he's named Archer.
He's voiced by Frank Langanella, which apparently.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't know.
One of the Gorgonites is Christopher Guest, Michael McKean,
Christopher Walken.
Hey, wait. Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Harry Schreger. Is this movie a Spinal Tap reunion? I think it is.
Are they what? Are they all from Spinal Tap?
That's Spinal Tap. Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Schreer. Those are the three guys in Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
Get on
your Rob Reiner mockumentary knowledge here. Come on.
You guys are kick flipping way past me when we start actually talking about real human names. I know Tank from The Matrix, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys know Tommy Lee Jones is in there. He's the Major Chip Hazard. That's a funny name.
Fuck yeah, dude. Of course I know that.
Perfect. I had that movie, and I had on VHS, and I had Mortal Kombat, also the original, like the 1998 one or whatever.
Oh, 95.
95.
Yep, that's a good one. And then Annihilation after it is the bad one.
Yeah. It's funny because I used to love Annihilation, then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. Until
Too bad you will die.
Oh yeah, thank you for your contribution, Sindel.
Sindel, yeah. Yeah, as a kid, I liked the sequel too. But then the older I got, I was like, wait, I don't like this. Why did I ever like this?
Yeah, and I was really upset when they changed Raiden. Like, almost nobody came back, and I'm just like, oh, this is sad.
Yeah, but like they got a new Johnny Cage just so he could get murdered.
Yeah.
Katana, Liu Kang were the same. In fact, the guy who played Liu Kang in that, he's in Beverly Hills Ninja.
Is he? He was perfect.
Yeah, it's the same
dude,
guy.
The first Mortal Kombat, almost all of the casting was just fucking perfect.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's incredible.
Fuck. Who was Raiden? It was the dude Highlander. I can't remember his name.
I don't know his name. I don't know anyone's real name, but I remember. I like that part where he's like on the
Sean
stairs.
Connery?
Christopher Lambert.
Oh shit!
Yeah. See, no, he's the Highlander, and then Sean Connery is.
He's the Spaniard or whatever.
The Spaniard with a Scottish accent. You know, you cannot die, McLeod.
Holy fuck! Let's
Shithead.
talk.
What's a shithead?
Let's talk about the GameCube. Holy Christ! We're here to talk about
We're
video
turning
games,
into a
not
movie
Highlander.
podcast now.
Hey, welcome to the Highlander podcast, everybody.
Oh yes.
Oh no, we should do. Holy fuck, we should do a whole podcast about small soldiers and about all the Gorgonites and the Commando Elite. Everything else is just a toy.
I am legit down to do a podcast about small soldiers lore. I am down to do
small soldiers tier list.
The extended
small soldiers mixed with small soldiers X Toy Story, but only the characters in Toy Story that are in what's his name's house. You know that fucking crazy kid?
Oh, Sid.
Yeah. You know those fucking creatures that live in there? We got to put them in the tier list too.
Do you think Sid is like a PTSD patient after that movie?
I don't know. He probably repressed it. I've repressed a lot of things as a kid that probably would have fucked me up if I remembered them right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that what was it? One of his fucking toys was just like a fishing pole with hot chick legs.
Yeah, dude.
Because he would take like his younger sister's toys and fuck with them, you know. So he made all those weird contraptions, and they're like, "We live in pain.
Yeah,
we need to cleanse our demons from the pain." And then Woody's like, "Let's just ruin this kid. Let's just wreck him for the rest of his life."
That fishing pole was my sexual awakening.
Dude, there was one fucking
hooked you.
Okay, yeah. There was that one Gorgonite that was just like it was an eyeball with 3 legs.
Yeah.
Like, who do you think would win in a fight between that fucking fishing pole and the 3-leg eyeball bitch?
No, what about
we win.
It's the 3-legged eyeball versus the 3 eyeballed aliens from Toy Story.
Oh,
the claw.
Stranger from the outside.
Let's make it.
They're squishy. That dog chewed that one and fucking shook it and shit, and it was still fine.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
They're durable. Let's do a death battle right now.
Liked it. Well, I think he was asking for it. So
this episode's fucking canceled.
Put it in the bin. No one. Look, your fucking your regular listeners like just foaming at the mouth for GameCube and Xbox. Nothing.
Yeah, we're now in the room with Mia Khalifa. So
I know that one. I know that name.
Yeah, but I know that name. Dude, who doesn't know Mia Khalifa? Holy shit. Anyway.
I had to look her up when I heard the name. I was like, who is that? I had to look that up.
Or Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, who did... Lawrence Fishburne, by the way, was Morpheus and other things. And his daughter ended up doing porn as well.
I think Steven Spielberg's daughter does, too.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's probably directed exquisitely. She probably has a really high bar.
It has a spotlight. There's a lot of spotlights in there.
It's got the Amblin Productions thing beforehand. Where it's kid on the bike.
There's a shark fin in the background.
And the score is impeccable. The score will bring a tear to your eye.
She got John Williams to compose the score.
I don't know which one was more.
And then there's caveman painting subtitles at the bottom. Throwback to part 1. Go listen to that.
So instead of humans, it's like E.T. aliens.
E.T. Bone Home. His finger's a
His
dick.
finger's just a fucking...
E.T. cream pie.
And it's just like,
Oh, shit.
like a vibrating.
Oh my god. Well,
Because we've been talking about toys.
Dude.
yeah, we're still talking about toys.
Okay, dude. What memories do you guys have with the GameCube?
Very
GameCube,
cubicle.
more like.
Mm-hmm.
Very cubicle.
It is very cubicle.
Yes. I wanted the Game Sphere, but we couldn't afford it, so I got
Oh, come on,
GameCube.
GameSphere.
I really liked the small discs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah,
Like
they're
something about-
they're so cute.
It's like Nintendo with the cartridges and then with the small disc. I'm a big fan of this novelty. And this was back, I had like a little computer in our living room, and like in the disc tray, there's a little spot for a small disc, and you could put the GameCube disc in there, and it would do nothing. But I thought it was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Were you there was this like maybe a few months ago, there was this thing going around about how like people were like, "Oh, I've been taking my GameCube discs out all wrong this whole time." People didn't know you like pushed the middle thing in to take.
Yeah.
Did you guys just
Never
rip it
did.
out like monsters?
Well,
Yeah, we ripped it out.
I know the genesis of
Oh,
that, which was
man.
the fucking like the Spawn cast, but because RGT, he's a weirdo. But the whole ripping it out. Like, no, I always push the button because I like pushing buttons. You know.
I've always done the button.
I never knew it was a button. I just pulled it out. It's the same with
the center. Literally says push here.
I'm not reading a fucking goddamn thing.
Oh, I did.
I'm here to play video
That
games.
has been my stance since I was a child, and I am still sticking by that stance. I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
Didn't even read Goosebumps or anything. Like that shit was all right.
No,
Aggressively mid.
I read the Ramona. What are those books? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
the Animorphs.
No, I know what you're
wish-
talking about. I can't put a finger on it though, like Super Fudge and shit like that.
hold on, Ramona kids books.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't think of the fucking series name. It was like Beverly Cleary or some shit.
You know, I'm looking at these book covers and I'm not recognizing these. Oh no, yeah, these are like new book covers. There's old ones too. Okay, yeah, it was these. Yeah, you're right, Beverly Cleary. What a fucking wild brain memory that I'm unlocking right now. What the fuck is going on? I loved these books.
There was we're getting so fucking off topic already, but like okay, so there was
Have
this
fun editing.
I'm leaving it all in, dude. I don't give a shit. So there was this one book that we had to read for English class. I forget what the fuck grade it was called, The Wishmaster. Did you guys have to read that at all while you were in school?
Nope.
Let me look because apparently I need to visually see it.
It was the cool, like every other book we had to read was boring and fucking dumb.
Oh my god!
The Wishmaster?
Google Wishmaster and just go to Google Images right away.
Oh no. Well, it gives me the movie.
Oh yeah, the movie.
Look at this movie, dude. Look at this guy. This guy looks like he's from fucking Quake.
Yeah. I don't know why he reminds me of Satan from Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
It's like the same
that's a good
era of makeup or effects.
Yeah.
This guy looks like he's from Necrogoblicon.
Yeah, it's like
Dude.
before they CG'd everything.
Vern Troyer was in that movie?
Fuck him.
I'm sorry.
Did you say fuck him?
He was kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I literally every time they start talking about a real life person, my eyes glaze over like I get a 1,000-yard stare.
That's
I don't know
mini-me,
what's going
dude.
on.
Vern Troyer is mini-me.
Yeah, he's getting those movies, but I've just heard outside of the movies he was kind of a bit of a prick.
Just like Ellen DeGeneres, she's a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Is that the singer? Is that the singer for Pat Benatar?
I wish.
It's like that fucking episode of the Eric Andre show where like whether they're like talking about Waka Flocka Flame and like the guest was like, is that a band? And he's like, no, it's a man.
That's great. That's lovely.
So stupid.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, yeah, the GameCube was
Okay.
like the first ever console that was actually mine.
Me too.
My dad got me one for like Christmas one year. I got the black GameCube that came with Metroid Prime, and then he also bought me
Nice.
Pikmin, and it didn't
Nice.
fucking come with a memory card, so
Yep.
I had to leave my GameCube on for like however long I needed to until I decided to just turn it off. And
Do you remember what memory card you got?
I think it's whatever one came with Animal Crossing. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because I
No, it might have been a Mad Catz one.
yeah, I had I still have it, the Mad Catz 16X. I don't know what that means, because that was back in the day where Nintendo's like, oh, these games take blocks, and it's like, what the fuck does blocks mean? Just say like it's megabytes of storage or whatever, which everybody does now, but they're trying to be weird about it. But yeah, I remember.
I just had the tiny gray
absolutely
one.
that.
I had the name brand one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one
those
that came
didn't-
with Animal
those-
Crossing.
Yeah, and those didn't hold a lot of data. If I remember, the Animal Crossing memory card held one save file of Animal Crossing, because it takes a lot of space.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it was like that. I think The Sims on GameCube took a lot of memory data as well,
Oh, 59 blocks. Yeah, that probably
which
didn't-
was a lot. I don't know what that equates to, but it was a lot.
there's no way of knowing unless you actually have a GameCube on you.
Well,
It's like trying to figure out the economy of like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
You're like
'cause-
a bomb is 10 rupees, but a fucking stick is 8 rupees. Like, what's going on here? Like, what is a rupee?
inflation.
Fucking
Man,
stick.
that Indian currency is real bad.
The rupee.
That actually is the currency in India.
Yeah, and every
It's
time you have to
called
pay for
rupees.
something, you have to go da-na-na-na right before you give it to them.
Yep.
Hold it
Yep.
over your head. Head.
Every time you buy it, you just hold it in the air, and they're just like, "Please leave the store. Get out of here."
It takes so long. The lines are so long.
Yeah.
We should start a petition to change the national currency for like Zimbabwe or some shit to the fun buck.
The
That's
Zimbuck.
Yeah, how many Zimbucks does this
How many
Casio
Zimbucks?
stereo? Swag bucks? I don't know. No, that's
we
a thing.
We start spelling money MUNNY.
Yeah, fuck the E, dude. That's stupid.
Walking around with giant clown shoes.
Yeah. Talking to ducks.
And they talk back.
But they don't
I wish
heal you.
I wish they would. Yeah. I
They'll
wish they
never
would.
heal you. You'll be dead in the fucking ground before he heals you while you're at critical health, dude.
Well, then I'm gonna let him die, and then we're gonna have a great dinner.
Holy shit. Anyway, what's what are your guys's we can start. No, fuck it, I'll start. Let's go.
Okay.
KIrby Air Ride.
I mean, I was gonna talk about my GameCube memories.
Okay, go.
Okay, so because I got one for Christmas as well in the early 2000s at some point. I still have the box. So if I could
Nice.
find the box, I'm sure I could find what year it is. But yeah, it was an all black one, and mine came with the Zelda Collector's Edition,
Ooh,
which
okay.
I still have on the shelf directly behind me. And it didn't make me a Zelda fan, but that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But yeah, the GameCube was my baby. It was my system. I still have it. I have it in my closet still. I can't ever get rid of it. But if I ever play GameCube games, it's either through Dolphin, sorry Nintendo, or on my Wii, because playing GameCube games on the Wii, you get better video output on it. And since
that's
I have
cool.
the OEM Wii component cables, I can get pretty clear 480p video out of it, and also I can play the handful of Wii games I have. But yeah, the
Fucking-
GameCube, it's such a great system. Like, I had it at the time, and it was my baby, and I remember people shitting on it all the time because it didn't have GTA. Like, that was the whole thing. Back
Or
then.
Halo.
I'm sure you guys remember that. Like,
Oh yeah.
the GameCube was the kiddie console. Nintendo was, baby games and shit. So having it, even, when you're in like middle school or whatever, it was still, people just didn't really give Nintendo that respect, But nowadays everyone's like, "Oh, GameCube's the best system ever." And it's like, well, yeah, they're probably right. Yeah, but I was there. I remember, like, people were not that way about the GameCube at the time. People were poo-pooing on it like crazy. I remember when GameCube games were dirt cheap, actually.
Yep.
in fact, I GameCube collected for a while. I actually had, at one point, I had like over half the library because a lot of them were just, dirt cheap. And I would go to the GameStop by my house and just like clean out the GameCube rack because they were like $5 a piece. I'm like, I'll just take all these, And I sold a bunch of them off like well before the GameCube market became what it is now, where every game is worth its weight in gold. But I kept some of the big ones. I wasn't completely dumb. Some of the more notable ones I've kept, but yeah, still love the GameCube to death. It was the right console at the right time for me. I rented games for it from the local Family Video all the time.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, and still some of the best, most beloved games of all time still exist on that system to this day. So it's a great console, great controller, but that controller only really works for the GameCube. Like I wouldn't use a GameCube controller to play like a PlayStation 3 game or something like that. It wouldn't be right. But it's such a unique little box, but it works.
And the fucking, I still think like I don't know what the fuck I guess like the menu, like the system menu is still like the coolest fucking shit ever.
Yeah, and I love how the music is the Famicom Disk System menu music, but slowed down, so it sounds all like ambient, like Brian Eno stuff.
And you can fucking change the startup music depending on like if you hold Z on one or more controllers. Like,
oh yeah,
if you hold it down on one, it'll be like the squeaky shit, or like if you hold it down on all four, it'll be that like traditional Japanesey sounding kind of stuff, little drums and shit.
Yeah, and I loved it, and I loved the system UI. It was like the first console I had that had a system UI in it.
Yeah,
where it was very simple. It was just like the clock and a memory manager and all that. But I always enjoyed it. When
I can hear it in
my
mind's eye.
Yeah, you turn the cube and it was like.
Yeah, it's like da-na, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and the little like animated, it would either be like static images or little like tiny little GIFs, I guess, in like of the memory card, where it was just like, it's like, oh, here's my, Star Wars Rogue Squadron save file. Here's my Luigi's Mansion save file, and they're all kind of these unique little pictures.
And like the clock and like the clock and shit like that would be animated in pixels. So like the clock would just be like little individual pixels, and then of course like the hands on the clock were just little, I guess, little lines and shit like that. But
it imitated your traditional analog clock, but
it's like so cool.
It was minimalist, but even still, it had some personality to it.
They kind of did the same thing too with the part of the menu where you like launch a game. It'll say like press start or some shit like that, like right by the game, and when you push start, then it do like the little twisty effect with like bloop, and then you start the fucking game. And there's so much cool, charming shit to the whole user menu for that console. They didn't need to add, but they did, and I love it.
And it was the last era where when you'd put a game in the system and you turn it on, you just go right into the game.
Yep.
Unlike nowadays, or like probably starting like the 360 era, where regardless of if you have a game in it or not, when you turn it on, you just go to the system menu. And we spend so much time in the system menu these days. It's weird, like say plugging in an old console and you turn it on, it's like, oh, I'm straight into the game.
Yep.
Like no time at all. So, but yeah, I love the GameCube. It's if I go by like nostalgia and like subjective nature, it's probably my favorite console, just because I have so much love for it, and I've put so many hours into it, and played a shit ton of games like Melee. I don't know if you guys ever did the trick in Melee to get Mewtwo. I think it was Mewtwo, where it's like you had to play a match for like 8 hours straight or something like that, and it's
you just like leave your GameCube on overnight and shit.
Yeah, you go to bed, leave it on, and just like, oh god, I hope this works. Because I was afraid my GameCube would die, but I've never had any issues with my GameCube. And I went through a couple PS2s, but I turned it on and then it worked, or like woke up the next morning, it worked. And when Mewtwo came in, I was like, oh, I better fucking win this because I don't want to have to do this again. But thankfully I did. So
I like how you had like the most to say about the GameCube, but we have to cut it all out because you're going to get assassinated by Nintendo's lawyers for mentioning the emulator. So that's really tragic. So press F in chat.
Well,
Thrak in his memory.
Hey, Dolphin in itself is not illegal. It is not.
I mean, if Nintendo would make more of a fucking effort to preserve like any of their, well, I guess they are kind of preserving some of their GameCube games. Like they have like the Bait and Kaidos remasters, and they've
Well,
like
that's
Sunshine
not
and shit
them.
like that, but
That's Namco doing that. But I
That's
think
true.
with the recent GameCube releases we're getting, I think it shows
like Thousand Year Door and shit.
Yeah, like it shows there's a market for those games, and Nintendo has no interest in doing an NSO for the GameCube anytime soon. And I kind of get it. Like, why would you? Like, why would you go to the effort of like adding on to the NSO with GameCube games, where they're probably just going to raise the price again to do it, or just do either like a full on remake or with like the Pikmin games, like just do a little quick remaster, and pop it on the eShop for like $20-$30 and people will buy it. Like we keep hearing rumors of an F-Zero GX remaster coming to Switch, and I mean, I'm buying that. I don't care what it fucking costs, because that game's amazing. So there's still a market for GameCube games, and we're at that point right now where like this era, like GameCube, PS2, Xbox, and nostalgia for it is probably at its peak. It may be starting to peak out a little bit, because then we'll get to like the 360 era nostalgia, but these games are in a way timeless. Even if they look old, they still function and play really well,
Dude, yeah, and I'm glad you brought up F-Zero GX, because that game still plays smooth as fuck, and it still looks so good. Like the how the light reflects off of the different crafts and shit in that game, and just how tight the fucking controls are to that game. Like that
60 FPS doesn't drop, not at all. And if you legally dump your copy of the game and play it in Dolphin, and you bump it to like 4K and everything, it looks pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may not be illegal, but Nintendo still will like to rain down our throats with hot acid and dissolve our testicles and turn our guts into snakes.
Dissolve our testicles.
And then make us pay $60 to get it back. But it has Mario on it, so it's fine.
Yeah. What about you, Nave? Do you have any GameCube memories or cool shit?
Whenever I first got the GameCube, my dad picked me up and we moved to Texas for a couple of months. And like we lived in this really high up building, like apartment thing, really high up in the sky. I don't remember I was a kid, but I really loved this era because it was summer, so I didn't have school. So this whole time I was just binging the classic GameCube games that I'm not going to mention because I'm sure they're going to come up in our list here. But I really enjoyed the GameCube. It was a step up from the Dreamcast and from like my little childhood brain. But it was also like when I had the Dreamcast, I had a front yard and stuff, so I like would go outside and play and stuff. I didn't have to play video games. In this place, I was not allowed to leave the apartment. I was a prisoner. So I was like, okay, I guess I got to play this fucking box, whatever. Make the best of my life, but it actually turned out to be pretty fun with all the games that I had.
It had a handle.
Yeah, that's true. You take it anywhere.
Out of all of these consoles, this is the most effective weapon, like the most
dude,
wieldy one.
Yeah, when we first started our podcast and got on Twitter, that was like I think one of our first 10 tweets. I made this dumb fucking poll about like, oh, which console would work as like the best blunt force weapon in the GameCube. It was the GameCube won, and I think in second place was the original Xbox, because that fucker is heavy.
Oh yeah,
fucking indestructible.
But 2 GameCubes, you have brass knuckles, man.
Exactly.
It's like sock and boppers. You guys ever had those?
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Yes, I did.
Do the fucking
the Incredible Hulk hands.
Yeah, dude.
Do the Hagar spin in place.
Yeah, like fucking Heian from fucking Zelda. Yeah.
Give me that sound again, please, one more time.
Heian!
Dude, so
he sounds like an anime protagonist.
Oh, I should do some voice acting.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking when I mean, whatever, fuck it. When I first started playing through Soul Calibur, the one with Link on GameCube, and he made all those different sounds, this isn't on my list, I'm just like, I used to think like all of his little sounds were so cool, and like whenever me and my siblings would go play in the backyard and like use sticks as swords and shit like that and jump around and pretend we were fantasy characters, I'd be like, oh, what's one of his fucking sounds? Like when you start a match and they're like face to face, one of them would like
scram.
Dude, no shit.
Yeah, because when we play Soul Calibur 2, we would just mash the buttons to get all the weird like expressions out of everybody,
Yeah,
just like,
especially Ivy.
Yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
especially did for
She right as soon as she turns, and her fucking shit is just going insane.
going fucking turbo mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
I like absolutely like this isn't GameCube, this is Nintendo 64, but when I was a child, I used to jump and go. What does he fucking do in Thrak? He goes, huh, huh, like every time he jumped, and I would do that. I would jump and go, huh, like I jump off of the monkey bars on the ground, go, huh, and fucking feel so powerful.
Fuck yeah, dude.
God, I love Thrak.
Holy shit. Do you guys have any more cool memories, or do you want to go on to our 3 favorite games for this little cube?
I mean, we can talk about how the Game Boy player was really cool.
Oh, the fucking game, and how insanely
Yeah.
expensive it is now. Oh, and the Z reader.
The player itself isn't expensive; it's the disc.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
the disc has the software in it. And I still have my player, but I lost the disc. I have no fucking idea where it is. I looked, I asked friends, nothing. So which sucks. There are apparently ways of like hacking into the game, like you access the hardware in like very weird ways or the software for it, but I just don't bother. Because if you want to play Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games on a bigger screen, there are much better ways of doing it these days. But that was a really cool
That is, yeah.
accessory at the time, because I also had a GBA, and being able to play those games on the big screen was fantastic. Like I could play Link to the Past on the TV. This is
On
insane.
the TV.
The Link to the Past on the TV app, besides where it was originally on the TV on the fucking.
Hey, I didn't have a Super Nintendo until many years later.
I guess
I had Link to the Past for my Game Boy Advance, and that's how I beat the game actually.
Dude,
So
no shot though. Like one of the reasons why I bought a Wii U is because a friend brought their Wii U over and played Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on my TV, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I think I need a Wii U. This isn't good."
Dude, yeah, I bought a Wii U at a convention, that one of the few conventions that we get in Iowa. I bought a Wii U from these. I don't know if anybody knows who the fuck Gaming Off the Grid is, the YouTube channel.
yeah,
They're like
I know them.
the only famous people from Iowa. Well, famous people from Iowa, but I bought a Wii U from them, and I immediately bought like fucking 20 virtual console games, because like there was no other way to get like Game Boy Advance games, or like they even had a shit ton of Neo Geo games on there, and
DS games.
Yeah, DS. Yep.
Like it's probably the best way to play DS games on a TV.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I don't know how they're ever going to be able to do that again unless they make the Switch 2 like a Wii U, but
I
don't
could
know.
see them, like, you know how they had the NES and Super Nintendo Classic? They could do something like that with the DS, where it's like, here's a DS that's preloaded with like 20 or 30 games, have at it. I feel like that's the only way they would do that, but you know, I don't see, I mean, yeah, the Switch 2, I mean, future Switches, they could do like the foldable screen thing, but I
that'd
feel
be
like
fucking sweet.
but I feel like that technology's too new for Nintendo to really jump on that. But that could happen in the future, maybe.
Hell yeah.
Guys, red alert. Somebody just sent me this in a message on Facebook, just completely unrelated to our little gaming podcast community. It says, at a recent town hall meeting, Activision Blizzard employees CEO Bobby Kotick discussed potential opportunities provided by Microsoft's acquisition, including the reemergence of Guitar Hero.
Oh. Well, to be fair, Phil Spencer has mentioned Guitar Hero as like a franchise Activision has that he could bring back.
Fuck yeah,
He
thanks,
has
Phil.
mentioned it. Phil's mentioned it too.
Uncle Phil, thank you so much.
Uncle
Yeah.
Phil. Why don't he want me, Uncle Phil? No, that's that's sad. I shouldn't have brought that up.
I mean, there's a lot Microsoft could do with the Activision Blizzard acquisition. The most I want is just like a big old like backwards compatible Game Pass dump.
Oh
Where
yeah.
it's
Ooh.
like, here's all the Crash games, here's all the Spyro games,
I'm
here's
sure
all
they
the
will.
Tony Hawk games. Like, you know, they could just go nuts with all that stuff. Like, I'll play through all the Call of Duty campaigns on Game Pass. I ain't paying for them.
I'd have a fucking
So.
seizure if the Tony Hawk games like appeared on Game Pass one day.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
if
The
the
Diablo
Xbox
2
version,
remaster.
yeah, if we got the OG Xbox version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on Game
Yeah,
Pass,
dude.
I would probably.
That's
I'd
the
be
one with
like,
all the extra
that's-
shit on it, right?
Or
Or was it Tony Hawk? Tony Hawk 2 was that?
2X. Yeah, it was 2X.
2X, yeah.
But yeah, well, my favorite Tony Hawk game for some reason is American Wasteland. So if they had
It's
the
good.
360 version on that, I would flip. I played the
Yeah.
shit out of that game.
American Wasteland was fucking good. I bet they
Oh, I
would do
loved
that too, because that's a
Why
slam
not?
dunk.
And I know the backwards compatibility team at Microsoft has been disbanded, but I'm sure with the Activision acquisition, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, hey, we have all these new games that we don't have to worry about licenses anymore. I mean, with Tony Hawk, that might be the one issue, all the music licenses.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you know, all the Crash and Spyro games, like, you just own them.
Yeah.
Throw them on there. I'd love to play Twin Sanity again.
I'm curious as to how that would work. Like, would they just like port? I guess they could just have like the PS1 ROM on the fucking Xbox. I don't know how the fuck that shit works.
Well,
I'm sure they could make it work. Like, just get like an emulator.
1 through 3, they would just do the Insane trilogy.
Yeah.
But like stuff like Wrath of Cortex, Twin Sanity, even like the 360 ones, like those already exist on Xbox hardware. That's true. For the backwards compatible program, it is like ROMs. They have like an internal emulator. They put the ROMs on there, and then they optimize them as best as they can for Xbox One and Series X hardware, so that they don't have the 360 backwards compatibility, which was like kind of iffy for OG Xbox games. Like here, it's as like perfect or even better a performance, because I've been playing a lot of Lost Odyssey recently.
Dude, yes.
And people used to complain about the load times on the 360 version, but on Series X, those load times are just gone.
Fuck yeah.
They're great. And then there are some of like, say, Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations that get like frame rate boosts as well. So it's a fantastic program.
Speaking of sweet fucking games, I need to talk about my first
GameCube games.
I need to talk about my first favorite game. I guess you guys already know what it is. I'm going to talk about KIrby Air Ride for like 30 fucking minutes because I just really fucking love that game.
I don't like it.
I know, man.
I've tried. I didn't play it at the time, to be fair. So it might have been a game I missed the boat on, or
maybe
missed the star on.
Missed the star. It is super different. Like for those that haven't played it, basically, unlike other racing games where you hold a button to go or anything like that, you're just constantly going forward. And the big fat fucking A button on the GameCube controller is what you use to do your power slides. Like you hold A going around the corner to charge up and then let go and you get a boost, or you use A to like suck up enemies or use your copy abilities and shit like that. But there's also like a bajillion different fucking vehicles in that game. Like there's your iconic ass Warp Star. There's this like really fucking dumb one where it's like made up of a bunch of different triangles, and instead of like slowing down or anything like that when you hold A, instead when you hold A to like do anything, it comes to a complete stop, and then you have to do like a quick like micro turn, and then it just there's no acceleration, it just goes fast immediately. So like instead of doing any kind of like power slides or like I guess any other micro adjustments you would make while driving normally, you have to like come to a dead stop for a second, micro adjust, and then let go, and then just fucking go fast again. And there's like a billion other ones. Like there's the Shadow Star that's great at gliding. There's the Formula Star that has like no acceleration at all, but it has like the best top speed, and there's like a bunch more. And the fucking best thing about the game is the city trial mode.
Yes, I would agree with that.
You're everybody, I think it's like up to 4 players. You're on this island basically. There's a city, there's a little underground area, there's a volcano and a bunch of other shit, but basically all of you guys together, you're running around this island, you're finding vehicles, and then the entire time there's this timer counting down, and then when it does count down, you'll do a race using the vehicles that you've had, and you're also picking up power-ups for like speed and attack and shit like that. And there's all sorts of like you're going around this whole island, and there's all sorts of crazy fucking shit that happens. Like I guess a meteor will fall and hit like the entire island at some point, and you have to hide underground or something, or like Dynablade. If anybody knows who the fuck that is, Dynablade the bird will come and like attack people, and it also has online.
Dynablade flips you the bird.
No, Dynablade is the bird. Yeah, and the game also has if you had the little modem adapter thing for the GameCube, you could play the game online with other people. But
oh yeah, I never had the modem for the longest time. I thought the GameCube wasn't an online system. How wrong I was.
Yeah, it had quite a few games that had online.
Yeah,
obviously,
Phantasy Star, Mario Kart, just to name a few.
But yeah, KIrby Air Ride was a game that I spent a lot of time on because there was also like it had kind of an achievements system where it had this big fucking punch card, and anytime you did like a certain task, it would I guess punch out a piece of that card, and you'd get something cool for it, and that was really awesome. But I spent too much time on that game as a kid. I can't get it now because it's way too fucking expensive for my tastes, but it's a super good game.
Like most GameCube games, they've gotten too pricey. It is ridiculous what's happened with that, but I was smart to keep some of them.
Smart man. Which one of you guys wants to go first?
I'll go first, I guess. Let's see. What do I want? Let's talk about Resident Evil, the remake.
Yeah. I was hoping somebody bring that up.
Okay. I was expecting Resident Evil 4.
Well, I actually didn't play Resident Evil 4 till the 360.
Okay. I played on PS2 back in the day. But
yeah.
I have the GameCube version now because it felt more appropriate to me.
But I think by the time Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube, I had already gotten a different system. And like I said last episode, my dad always sold my previous system. So I always only just had one. And so I remember the ads though, or not the ads, but the interviews where the guy was like, I will chainsaw myself to death before letting this game get on any other console. And I was like, well, shit. I guess I'm never playing that.
Oh, yeah. Shinji Mikami infamously said that. And then I think it was a month later. It's like, it's coming to PS2. Because of course it is.
We like money over here at Capcom. But Resident Evil, the original remake, I have a fun story about this where my dad, I had a bunch of games whenever I first got the GameCube. Resident Evil was one of them, but my dad kept it locked up in his liquor cabinet because he didn't want me playing it. He thought it was way too intense for me. And I was like, bullshit. I've played Resident Evil 2. I've played a little Resident Evil 3. I didn't like it. And so I'm like, I think I could I could play this. It's not going to be a big deal.
Fuck you, Dad. You don't know how intense I am.
One day he gets drunk and passes out on the couch, and he leaves the liquor cabinet open. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm going to take the GameCube into my room with my TV that's sitting on the floor, and I'm going to be right in front of the TV and play this game. I'm going to be a big boy. And everybody knows the infamous very first zombie that's eating the guy on the ground. Yep. Whenever I saw that, I literally almost shit myself, and I had nightmares for days. I was so scared. It was such a realistic depiction of it wasn't just like the cutscene. It was also the zombie itself was very realistic compared to what I remembered Resident Evil 2 being like. And so I was like, I just stood there and he ate me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm not fucking playing this game. And I returned it to the liquor cabinet.
I mean, to think about the huge leap in technology from that, because the original Resident Evil was 96. Yeah. And then the remake was 2002, I think.
That sounds right.
And so in that short time, the technology of games had just gone leaps and bounds to where the remake of 1 is still the standard bearer Resident Evil 1 remake. Yeah. Some people have asked Capcom, are they going to remake 1 again? And they said, no, we already did.
Beautiful.
They're fine with it. They have no intention. In fact, that's why when they started the remake campaign again, they started with 2 because they're like, we already did 1. We don't need to do 1 again.
Yeah, it's crazy too because 2 is so much better than 1. 1 needs it way more. But that remake is great, and it's in Resident Evil 2 when the one I played on the Nintendo 64, all the zombies look like fucking Transformers robots in disguise. You know what I mean?
They do.
And so it's I was totally detached from it, but that game really messed me up when I first saw it. And then I was afraid. I was like, I need to set this exactly in the cabinet in case my dad, he cannot know that. There's no way he knew I did that.
There's no way.
I doubt it, yeah.
Except unless I was having night terrors suddenly.
Unless he listens to this podcast.
Yeah, and then he just shows up at my doorstep and beats the shit out of me. It's
how dare you did that thing 20 years ago.
It's the fucking, what is it, the Family Guy chicken fights,
Yes.
Over Resident Evil.
Son, I heard you on the SuperPod Saga. Yeah. I can't believe you stole that game from my liquor cabinet. Yeah.
It's Dad, you barely even know how to work YouTube. How the fuck did you find me?
Fuck you, son. I was joking. No.
You mentioned you podcast one time.
Yeah.
And he finds everything. I've heard people say they should remake 1 in the style of a 2 remake, but I feel like it would completely ruin the game. Because, people don't like the tank controls with Resident Evil, but I think the first game, the setting is built around like the fixed angles and the tank controls, like being in the mansion with all those blind corners. Like I feel it's the one game that still needs the weird awkward controls. It fits. Because if you made it like Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4 remake, I think the game would just be too easy. It would just be kind of boring.
I think they should remake Resident Evil 1 again, but in the style of Fall Guys.
Okay.
That'd be fucking cool.
I almost killed Aaron. I'm sorry, everyone.
You did fucking Fall Guys, dude.
Ended the Super Pod Saga.
It's like you're looking at the zombie, like eating them, and then just a bunch of Fall Guys just start.
You just run straight at him
from the ceiling.
You run straight at him and jump and tumble over him, like a jelly bean.
And they're like, Spencer Mansion is now an obstacle course.
Yeah, and then the dogs are jumping and biting on the swings to get to the other side to you.
Yeah, the snake's there.
By the way, I didn't realize how short the 6th generation was. It only went from 98 to 2005. That's crazy. In
terms of it being like the main ones on the market. But like, because the Dreamcast, I mean, it was officially discontinued in 2001, but it was still getting official games till like 2007 in Japan.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation 2 got games in Brazil for fucking like
till 2013.
A long time.
It was officially discontinued in 2013, which was only 10 years ago. And then the Xbox and GameCube still got games going in 2007 as well. But I wouldn't say the 6th generation lasted till 2013. That seems very unfair.
Yeah, because it was just the PlayStation 2 and it was just FIFA over and over again.
Yeah, because like, I mean, you're getting in like, with the PS2, once you get into like 2008, like it's still getting like big games like God of War 2 and Persona 4. But 2008, 2009 felt like when it was like, okay, now we're done.
That's just like with the Wii, like even though I think it was just like this past generation too, like the Xbox One and all that shit, like the Wii was still getting ports of Just Dance, even though
man.
Like no
funny story with that. Ubisoft has said they would still be making Just Dance games for the Wii now, but the only reason they stopped was because I think it was Nintendo canceled or they put an end to like their Wii certification system internally. So Ubisoft's like, that's the only reason we don't make them for the Wii anymore, because Nintendo's like, yeah, we're not certifying new Wii games. This is like 2022. Stop it.
I'm a mailman, and on one of the routes that I used to do, I used to deliver to a nursing home, and those fucking old people, they fucked with that Wii, man, and they were playing Just Dance. They weren't doing very good.
It's a lot of fun,
but they were playing it.
Yeah, it's a fun party game.
By the way, whose turn is it? Is it Thrak's now? Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
So the listeners won't be able to see this, but I have my 3 GameCube games here, so we'll have some visual representation. So the first, and I picked 3 kind of like lesser known ones, but ones that I have very strong connections to. So the first one will be Battalion Wars.
Oh, I forgot about that fucking game, dude.
2006. I wish, this is not my original copy as a kid. I actually had to rebuy this one. Just pity on me. I remember when this came out in 2006. I was super fucking hype on it. It was like, I watched all like the trailers and all like the GameSpot video reviews and everything. Like I was really excited for this game when it came out. And I remember when I bought it, it came in like a big cardboard promo box for some reason that was like the size of this, but like thicker. I don't have it anymore. I wish I still did. But yeah, Battalion Wars, for those who probably don't know, there is a series of games called Advance Wars, as we know them on the Game Boy Advance, that were the real-time tactics, I guess, because they're not really RPGs, but like fun little like tactics games.
Yeah.
That are like, oh, it's like cartoon armies, but like it's very well done and it's very kind of cute. And Battalion Wars is the home console spin-off of it. It wasn't made by Intelligent Systems. It was made by Kuju Entertainment. But what Battalion Wars does is it takes the real-time tactics thing, but makes it more action-based. So you are controlling your units on the ground, like one at a time. Like you'll switch between like your grunt, your vehicle, your heavy guy, whoever, right? As like your main person that you're controlling, doing stuff with. But you have command of all of your troops as well. So it's like an action strategy kind of hybrid that I've just had so much fun with over the years. It has a story with some like, fun like conflict between all the various nations, like this is America, this is Russia, this is
America.
Yeah,
Don't get you slipping up.
one of the nations is like vampires for some reason, and then
Yeah.
there's like
That's Transylvania.
Transylvania, and then there's the
I don't know.
the island. No, I think it is. And then there's like the little island of like the Asian, like Queen Lady or whatever. It's some of it is kind of a little iffy, but
My
the
favorite
game holds up
faction
very well.
My favorite faction is the one from Small Soldiers from the crossover. Actually, it's kind of interesting that you brought this up.
Stop. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, you have the Tundran Empire, which is the Soviets, of course.
Fucking
You have
Gorgonites. Greetings, Alan. Now shut up.
Next week, tune in for the Small Soldiers podcast.
Yeah,
We gotta do that shit,
I
dude.
couldn't help myself.
Yeah. They don't have the other ones in here. But yeah, Battalion Wars, like, I was so hyped for it at the time, and then I got it, played the shit out of it. It lived up to my expectation, and it is still one of my favorite GameCube games, even though I sold it back in the day like an idiot. But I have it now.
Yeah, dude, we were all dumb
And I still
children.
love it.
Dude, I didn't
I was
realize.
I was like, "Fuck yeah, $3 for this game that I paid $60 for? Hell yeah, brother!"
Yeah. Like, I'll use that to buy another Xbox 360 game, and then my 360 died.
That's 2 orange sodies at work. That's cool.
It's sody paps.
Yeah,
That's a cherry Coke.
yeah.
Good.
And then the bully takes it from me. So it's like,
Give me your sody pop.
yeah.
I didn't realize they made a sequel to Battalion Wars for the Wii.
They did.
That's kinda cool.
I've never played it because by the time I got my Wii, I wasn't thinking about Battalion Wars 2, and still to this day,
You were only thinking about Red
Um,
Steel, right? Only Red Steel.
Red Steel 2 is pretty good. But the retro store that I kind of frequent, I think they have Battalion Wars 2. I just haven't bitten the bullet and bought it. But
Damn.
it's just when I play Wii games these days, after a while, I'm just like, I don't want to do this motion shit anymore.
Yeah,
Just-
I feel that.
can't. Even with good games like Zack and Wiki or something, which is a fucking amazing
Oh, Zack and Wiki.
That game is fucking amazing. Like,
That's on my wish list too.
and I just can't play it for more than 2 hours and be like, I don't want to play this anymore.
I don't know why.
That's a me thing, you know.
When you said that, I was imagining what is it, The Secret Life of Zack and Cody, and I was like, what's so cool about
Ooh.
that show?
Oh, dude, that's a new podcast idea. That's.
I'm not talking about the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, man.
I'm trying to think of like a clever, dumb fucking name for this Sweet Life of Zack
The,
and Cody.
the Sweet Cruise. 'Cause then they went on a cruise
Oh,
for like 4
that's
years or some
fucking
shit.
right. No,
Yeah.
that's stupid. Let's move on.
The Sweet Saga of Aaron and Tommy. There you go.
Ooh.
Ooh, hell yeah!
Yeah.
We'll get who's the one that's on what the fuck's that CW show?
Supernatural.
Riverdale? No, Riverdale.
Riverdale. Okay.
Is it Cole Sprouse that's on that? He was Zack
Sure,
and
it's
Cody.
one of them.
Okay,
It's fucking
well,
one of them.
hey guys, Tales of Symphonia was a really good GameCube game.
I love Tales of Symphonia.
It's so good. I have a cool story about this game. I was so fucking like hooked on this game that I think like 2 days in a row, I faked my little brother being sick so that I could stay home and watch him, so my mom could go to work. For any of you kids listening at home, all you gotta do is just mix up some oatmeal and crackers in a bowl of water, and then just dump it on the floor, and then be like, "Hey, mom." I'd be on the phone with my mom. She had no way of seeing this like fake puke I made on the floor. I'd be like, "Hey, mom, my little brother puked." Well, I would call him Jeremy. That's my little brother's name. I'd be like, "Hey, mom, Jeremy puked. He's not feeling well. Should I stay home and watch him, or are you gonna come home and watch him?" And she'd just be like, "No, you stay home. Like, whatever." And I'd be like, "It's like yes, I'm just gonna fucking play video games all day, baby." And so I would play for 2 days straight. I just stayed at home in my basement bedroom, and
I get to be Isaac with the 2 swords.
dude,
Or no, his name's not. Is it Isaac? No, it's not.
no Lloyd Irving.
Lloyd. Well, I was thinking Isaac. Lloyd, yeah. He's voiced by Robin from Teen Titans.
Are you thinking of Isaac from Golden Sun?
Probably.
Okay. But yeah, so I stayed home from school for 2 days straight playing that fucking game in my little bedroom basement, and it was great. Fucking the characters for the most part were cool because there were like 3 that I didn't like and never used, but yeah, story was super fucking rad too. Like the two, basically like Final Fantasy 9, but like not as dreary. I guess it's about the same.
I don't know. The plot to me, it reminds me a little bit of 10, with the whole like, oh, you have this character who's like, she has to go on this quest to like sacrifice herself to save the world, kind of thing.
That's yeah. And then
I mean, I know Symphonia does different things with it than 10 does, but it's kind of set up in the same way.
Yeah, that's right. And then fucking Kratos. I think it's Kratos.
Kratos.
Yeah,
I just call him Kratos. It's the same spelling.
But he was basically the Orin, kind of, because Orin was just like a ghost, but he was like an angel or something. Kratos was an angel. I don't fucking remember.
I've never beaten Symphonia, but I've played a good amount of it, and I've never beaten a Tales game. I mean, they're all great. It's just they're all very long.
Oh, but the cooking is so good. I love cooking mechanics so much.
Love the skits. Love the combat. And the GameCube version is still the best version because it runs at 60 frames. And the funny thing is,
not even the PS3 version.
Because they're all based on the PS2 version that came out in Japan, and that one runs at 30. So the modern remaster of it that we have on like Switch and everything, it's based on the PS3 version, which is based on the PS2 version. So GameCube's still winning, baby.
Nice.
Still winning.
Thanks, Nintendo.
And the cool thing is, I'll bring it up again with Dolphin. People make HD texture packs for Dolphin games. So I tried it out with Symphonia, and like people go in and like, make all the assets more kind of modern HD'd. And so playing it in that way, it's like, this is the real remaster.
That's cool as fuck.
But I don't know why Namco doesn't use the 60 FPS version. I couldn't tell you. I don't work at Bamco.
Fucking... Oh my god, I think the cops are at my door. The fucking Dolphin emulator is brought up twice.
They should be at my door. I'm the one who's saying it.
Yeah, that'd be fucked. You got me arrested.
I mean, there's this door right here. Miyamoto could come in at any moment.
Miyamoto himself, he's like, fuck you. And then he slaps the cuffs on you.
They have a long list of questionable anime games that they've got on me, so they were waiting for an excuse to get me, scoop me up in a net.
The only thing he takes is my copy of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. And then I get very upset.
Fuck you, buddy. Now you've got to pay $120 plus to get this back.
On the Switch. You have to pay extra for the Switch version.
Have fun living in a fucking box. Nave, what's your next game?
Have you guys ever seen that movie where Shaquille O'Neal's a genie?
Dude,
yes.
Shazam or
Kazam.
Kazam, my bad.
He's a rapping genie.
It's so fucking good. That's the.
I don't know about that.
It's so fucking good. Just
It's green egg and ham it.
Get real drunk and watch that. Anyways, on a completely unrelated note, Luigi's Mansion.
Hell yes.
Still the best launch title of any fucking console ever. Luigi's Mansion is.
It's up there.
Even better than Project Gotham Racing? Whoa.
I've never played those before.
It's better than Mario 64.
I'd say.
Was that a launch game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the N64 launched with one of the greatest, most revolutionary games of all time.
Pilot Wings 64?
Yeah, and Mario 64, yeah.
Oh, shit, you were being serious?
No, I love Pilot Wings 64.
Great
I thought you guys were
fucking
talking
soundtrack.
about Wave Race 64.
That wasn't a launch
That's
title.
good.
That came out in a year later.
I used to get paper clips and bend them and pretend I was playing Wave Race 64 in class, like a bunch of paper clips, have a race with them.
I never got Wave Race.
I loved it.
I'm like, it's fun. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't click for me.
My buddy and I, in algebra, we used to stick staples through pencil erasers and then like chuck them at the fucking the like styrofoam tile fucking ceilings and see how many we could get stuck up there in each tile. And it would be like, okay, well I got fucking 7 up there, so eat ass, I win.
Oh my god! And then you guys get called to the office, and you guys are in trouble for that. And like, we didn't do anything. And they walk you to the class, and they're all just in a circle above your 2 desks, and no one else is like just you 2 doing it.
And at that specific moment, they fall out and bonk them on the head, or stab them in the head, even.
Sometimes
were they sharpened pencils?
No, it wasn't even like we would take the erasers out and then throw them. But yeah, sometimes they did fall out and it hurt like a motherfucker. But Nave, Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
So after they got stabbed in the head and became ghosts, they went and lived in this mansion where Luigi sucked him up with a vacuum cleaner. This game has a
He sucked
bitchin'
him off.
soundtrack.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
On Game Boy Horror, dude.
That song pops in my head randomly.
Yeah, everybody go and Google Dr. E. Gadd's laboratory theme. Very fucking sweet. And my fucking favorite part is when there's like not really any music playing and Luigi's walking around in the silence and he starts whistling it or humming it.
That's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, he gets nervous and he's like,
I love that so much, dude.
And I'm like, this is so good.
And there's one button that's just him going Mario.
Mario?
That's the
yeah,
A button.
it's the Jason
Mario.
button. I don't know if you guys have played Heavy Rain, which has it is the meme of
Heavy
Jason.
Rain.
Jace.
But this game originated it with Mario.
Sean. Well, that's later in the game.
Yeah.
Spoilers
Spoiler
for
alert.
Heavy-
Yeah, I was
spoilers
like,
for
wait a
Heavy
minute.
Fucking Rain. Nobody, come on. I think people forgot about that game.
I love it. But also, this is the game where Luigi goes, oh yeah. And he fucking humps things.
Oh yeah.
And he humps the thing. Dude, fucking for real. I was with somebody and I was trying to tell her that this existed. And she's like, you're just being funny. You're being funny, haha guy, random Rick and Morty humor. And I'm like, no, I swear to God. And so I just fucking searched for the internet for like 20 minutes. I just Luigi's Mansion, oh yeah, hump. And like eventually I watched a 3-hour-long stream just to wait because I'm eventually he's going to hump something and fucking go, oh yeah.
I hope you did you clip it and save it?
No, because now I'm just never gonna be able to find it again.
Fuck, dude.
Because apparently
you gotta future-proof it.
It's so crazy because it's like apparently I'm the only human in the world that only wants to see Luigi hump something and go, oh yeah, for 2 seconds, and then that's it. So
I mean, I like when he says "fuck" in Mario Golf.
Yeah, that's my favorite part too. But you got to put in the Konami code for that.
I think so. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's exactly what he sounded like.
Oh, okay. I was just
and for all the listeners who thought that he inserted that in there, like an edit.
No, that was. I'm actually.
Editor Aaron, you got to find the clip of Luigi saying "fuck" in Mario Golf, and you got to put it in right here. Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm gonna find one of him going. I'm gonna find one of him going. Oh yeah, and I'll put that in there.
That'll work.
It'll be like his montage of different Luigi quotes.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's Charles Martinet's legacy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. Bingo. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, yeah.
So long, Gabe Bowser.
Not Mario.
Luigi.
Luigi, the real king.
Yep.
In that part, the part is that you're referring to is the part where Mario steps on his shoe. He says it right there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah?
Oh, this is Mario Tennis. No, when he goes, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mario steps on his shoe, and then Luigi looks distraught.
Yeah, because it's like you're insulting him. Like, why are you doing this? Like, Mario's a little bitch in Mario Tennis. He is. Because he's treating Luigi like shit the whole time. It's like, that's your tennis partner. Stop it.
Why you guys won together? Why are you disrespecting him in front of everybody?
Yeah, your brother.
Everybody like the amount of fucking shade he got in Superstar Saga makes me so fucking bad all the time. It's like Luigi's awesome.
Luigi had to fucking time travel and learn a bunch of historical facts just to save you, Mario. Have a little fucking respect.
Fucking dickhead.
Exactly.
Yeah, that diary underneath Mario and Luigi's house, where Luigi's just looking up to Mario. And he just gets all shit on the whole game.
He's secretly plotting to fucking murder Mario.
Oh, it's like it's in a toe. It's like you gotta speak it out loud into a LP, into a vinyl, and then play it backwards like a fucking satanic ritual. And then it's his secret plot.
This is like the most Poughkeepsie tapes fucking bullshit I've ever heard, dude.
He's trying to Mandela affect us, so one day we wake up and it is Super Luigi Odyssey.
Yeah, big Stairway to Heaven vibes, which is
there
what Mario's going to be walking up after Luigi's done with him.
No, Mario's going to hell. He's taking the stairway to hell.
He's going to ill bleed hell
He's on
too,
the
dude.
highway to hell.
That's the thing. He gets to the top of the staircase, and then it just is not. There's nothing there, so he has to just fall straight down.
It's like in was it the South Park movie?
Yeah,
like
I was literally just thinking.
Oh yeah,
he's floating up to heaven, and then they're just
it's
like heaven population like 6, and there's like nah, throw him into hell.
I was literally just thinking that too. Holy
Blame
shit!
Canada.
Yep.
Anyway, Luigi's Mansion. It's funny you bring that up because, and you also brought up Resident Evil because they're basically the same game.
Yeah, I definitely have a niche, and this is it. This is where I live. Wait till my third game. How am I gonna wrap this up? Find out.
Yeah, but it's weird that the original Luigi's Mansion holds up like very well. Even though I think like Luigi's Mansion 3 is the better game, you know, because I mean Luigi's Mansion 3 is a fucking masterpiece. But
I mean, Gooigi, come on,
Gooigi,
Polterpup, dude,
Polterpup, and
I haven't played it.
Oh, it's a great game. But Luigi's Mansion 1, it still has the best like atmosphere, and theming, and the ghost designs in that are fantastic. Like it does a better job of sort of giving you that sort of horror atmosphere, but done in the Nintendo way, you know? Whereas Luigi's Mansion 3 is just a really good game.
Yeah, except fuck that baby.
Yeah,
Wait,
for
don't
real,
clip
dude.
that. Don't clip that.
I wish they would make.
Streisand affected it.
I wish they would make a fucking.
Oh no,
M-rated,
not again.
Oh yeah, fuck.
They just chuck Baby Mario in there, and he just is crying.
Fucking God, I fucking hate that baby.
I wish they'd make an M-rated Luigi's Mansion, like remake it, but like M-rated, to where Luigi gets
give him a
fucking
gun.
mutilated.
Just give him a fucking gun.
Fucking phantasmal breast physics. Oh man,
it's like
Boob
you
ghosts. He
he's
has to titty fuck him to kill him.
and they fucking shoot plasma out of their nipples.
Yeah, they're breastfeeding.
instead of a gun, he has that like what the fuck, that like pressure nail shooter thing from like No Country for Old Men, where he shoots out like those cow needles and shit.
Yeah, but he has to flip a coin before every ghost.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my god, dude! No Country for Old Men, but it's Luigi.
And you have Javier Bardem voice Luigi.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I would
And
pay.
he's just like, I'm Luigi.
He's got the same stupid fucking haircut too. The fucking dumb bowl cut.
Dude.
Like Luigi comes in with the hat on, but then he takes it off, and then you see the
It's
hair.
the fucking hair, yeah. He's a baby. How much
Who
have
would
you
be-
lost in a coin toss?
And instead of Tommy. Oh yeah, the character played by Tommy Lee Jones would be
King Boo?
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
Mario.
Yeah.
He's Mario.
Yeah, Mario would be the other guy that he's constantly hunting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The guy who finds the money and shit. So
No,
it's like
I think-
Luigi hunting Mario.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name though.
Mario should be Christopher Walken.
Is Christopher Walken in that movie?
No, I just want someone to do a
okay.
Christopher Walken impression.
Of Mario, like
He's
wahoo! It's a me.
Wahoo!
It's a me. Mario.
Mario, I'm trapped in this painting. I need you to wahoo me out of here.
He has a
Peach.
monologue. He has this monologue about how he hit an uncomfortable hunk of metal up his ass for about 2 years.
Up my ass. Mario. Mario.
This watch, Luigi. This watch.
Mario.
This Power Star Mario. This Power Star's been up my ass. And now I'm trapped.
And now I give the star to you, Mario.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
This guy.
Oh my ass.
Oh my
Mario.
Unfucking believable.
You're talking to my guy. All wrong. You do it again.
Oh, wrong.
And I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Now, Flood, you need to get out of here.
Oh my fucking god. Hey, welcome to the Christopher Walken podcast.
Have you guys ever played the game Ripper?
No.
It's like an old 90s FMV point-and-click adventure that has Christopher Walken in it. It's
Holy
like,
ass.
yeah. And it has him, John Rhys Davies, Paul Giamatti,
Oh my
Burgess
fucking
Meredith,
god.
Jimmy Walker. Yeah. It has what's her name?
Mila
girl
Kunis.
No, the girl from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
You know who I'm who I'm
No.
thinking of.
I was trying to think of that
Gina Davis.
porn star's name, but I forgot.
Karen Allen, Marion from Raiders, like she's there as well. It is weird, and they somehow got "Don't Fear the Reaper" as like the theme for the game.
Oh, that's cool.
It is a weird fucking game, but it's worth looking at.
What's your next game,
Fuck.
Thrak?
Oh, okay. Back to me. So, I guess. So
I got the game up my ass.
Got the game
let me
my ass.
let me shit this game out my rectum before we
God.
continue. It is The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
I was hoping
It-
we'd come across that game.
It's one of my few player's choices that I have, but I'm okay with it because Simpsons, yellow,
Mhm.
I think it makes sense. Yeah, this was a game I had as a kid. I didn't know jack shit about The Simpsons in 2003. Didn't know a
Really?
thing. Yeah, because
Not
I
even-
didn't. Well, I knew they existed,
Oh,
but like back then I was watching Family Guy, so
man,
yeah,
you missed a lot of good Simpsons.
Well, I've caught up on Simpsons now, so
Okay.
when are we going to get to the fireworks factory? But Hit and Run was kind of my introduction to The Simpsons, and I feel it might have been for a lot of other people my age as well, because by
I'm sure.
2003, Simpsons was still good, but it wasn't great like it was. But this game is fantastic. After The Simpsons Road Rage, which was not great, and Sega sued them over it, which I think is hilarious. Because it's a Crazy Taxi clone, to a T.
Blatant.
Yeah. Sega actually sued them. You can look it up. So the makers of this game, Radical Entertainment, who actually have an interesting gameography.
That
I think
sounds
they
familiar.
did Prototype, I think, and Incredible Hulk,
that
Ultimate
sounds
Destruction.
Prototype.
Yeah, some great game.
Fucking bring
Yeah.
it back. Microsoft, bring it back.
They should. But funnily enough, Radical Entertainment, I think they did Road Rage as well, and they were able to convince Vivendi Universal to give them another year on this game, because back then it was for like licensed games you got a year to make it, right? I know, weird to think about in today's gaming culture, but they were able to convince them, like, give us another year to like fine tune this game, and they got it. And the results are, one of the best licensed games probably of all time, and a game that still holds up. Like it's a game that I imagine if you play it now, a lot of people would be like, this game's kind of fucking annoying, and it is in a lot of ways, because like it's mainly driving based, and it's all just like timing, like collect this thing in this amount of time, and the game gives you just barely enough time. It is so easy to fuck up in this game, especially near the end when you're doing like the Apu section. Like it's kind of unforgiving at certain points, but like the charm is there. Like I think they got the writers of The Simpsons at the time to do like the dialogue and everything, and there's still some really good quotables here. The world of like Springfield in this game is done very well. And yeah, it's just, I still really enjoy it. It's a very kind of silly, lighthearted game, but it, weirdly fits in with the whole Simpsons ethos of the time, and I still enjoy playing it, Like the quote I'll always remember from this game is when you're at Homer early on and you're collecting all of like Flanders' stuff, where Flanders is like, oh, I lost all my stuff. And Homer's like, oh shit, I had all that. Where'd it go? Right. There's the part where you have to get his cooler and you pull up to, I think it's Barney. Right. And he says to Barney, he's like, hey, you remember that cooler I got you for your birthday? Well, Flanders wants it back. And Barney's like, now what will I use for a toilet? That always made me laugh. That was a good one. So great game. Love this one to death.
I also
The game
like
was-
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh yeah, classic. People are like begging for it to get like a remaster or remake these days, and I mean Disney is very open with this kind of stuff, so maybe. But again, I don't know, with like Vivendi Universal being involved and everything. The rights to this game, I think, are probably in a weird limbo. So I'm not sure who really owns it. I mean, I imagine if Disney owns it, they can just be like, yeah, sure, give it to whoever. But, it would be nice to see it come back, but who knows?
It was a good one, especially for GameCube, because that was basically like the GTA that GameCube never got.
Yeah.
So I guess the GameCube also had like True Crime, Streets of LA or whatever. Like that was a good one.
It had both true crime games. Trying to remember what else it had that was like GTA similar at the time.
I can't think
Was
of
the
any
Getaway
more.
a PlayStation exclusive? I think it was.
I think it was.
I don't even know what that is.
And Mafia was also on PS2 and Xbox only, I think.
Yeah. I know with GameCube, the
Even the
issues
fucking
were
Scarface game wasn't even on GameCube.
that was on
Motherfucker.
Wii.
What the
It got a
fuck?
Wii port. It got a Wii port. Well, it was like 2006, I think, or 2008 or something. It was in that era. But I know with the GameCube, the two main issues were the small discs,
Yeah.
which didn't hold as much storage,
It's my issue too.
and the and the GameCube controller, it didn't have 4 shoulder buttons. It just had 3. Because they still had L and R and Z, but they didn't have the other
side,
left.
The Z
which-
with the fucking pimple on it.
Yeah, so it would have made, games like GTA hard to do. I mean, I know they were working on ports of GTA 3 and Vice City to GameCube at the time. Like, there's news articles that said they were planning to do both.
Yeah.
But they canceled them for unknown reasons.
And I think this was before it was common practice to separate the analog stick and the D-pad. So
Yeah.
it was
and plus, I think both games would have had to have been 2 discs, and making an open world game on 2 GameCube discs would have been difficult to do. Because there's quite a few. Because there's quite a few double disc GameCube games like Tales of Symphonia, Resident Evil 4, some of the Tiger Woods games for some reason.
Manhunt.
Bait
was
and
on
Kaitos.
GameCube.
I don't know what it's on.
Yeah, Bot and Kaitos, both of them
Yeah.
were double disc as well. So, just Nintendo limiting themselves to be different.
My next game is one that like maybe fucking 4 people have heard of or played, and it's Custom Robo.
Oh, Custom Robo.
In fact, I wrote a fucking fat blog article on our fucking website about it because I just missed those games so much. But
Was that a Nintendo published
Yeah.
game? Okay.
hell yeah. It okay, so what is it? The first 3 games in the series were Japan only. There's like 2 on the N64, 1 on the GBA.
Yeah.
And then we finally got the one on the GameCube and then the one on the DS. But the GameCube one, of course, I first discovered Custom Robo through like the whole trophy bullshit thing on Melee. These had like Raymark 2 or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, dude, robots. Like, robots are fucking sick. And then I found Custom Robo at a movie gallery. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I grabbed it. I fucking shoved it down my pants. And I didn't shove it down my pants. I'm just trying to be fucking stupid, but that was a dumb fucking joke.
You shoved it up your ass is what you
I shoved it up my ass. Custom Robo by
Custom
Nintendo.
I love how Aaron's Christopher Walken's impression's getting better over time and mine's getting worse.
And then I got home and I shat out that game, and fuck, was it marvelous. Like, I've played the game now as an adult, and it's definitely not as good as I remember it, but it's still pretty fucking cool. But it basically, like, the combat, what is it? There's different kinds of like stages or Holosseums, as the game calls them, and there's different like stage gimmicks. And before a battle, you'll pick different parts for your Robo. Like, you'll pick different chassis that have different attributes. Like, this one's just well balanced, it's fine. This one's slower and heavier, but it's got a shit ton of HP and armor. Or like, this one is less armor, but it's faster, it's quicker, less HP. And then you have like a fucking billion different guns and bombs for like your left and right hand weapon, respectively. Or no, left hand is gun, right hand's bomb. I don't know. The guns are fucking insane because it'll be like a 3-way horizontal shot, or it'll be like just like a regular fucking machine gun, or there's one that's like it's shaped, it shoots like a crystal blade that like flies in the air for like a second and then homes in on your enemy and fucking stabs them. There's all sorts of fucking cool shit. And then there's it's a backpack, but it's called a pod. And then it gives you this like AoE, like long range attack that you can use when you're hiding behind cover or some stupid shit. And there's the legs, which affect like how you run and jump and your speed and shit like that. And the game is just like, it'd be cool if they remade the series or rebooted it in some way and brought it to modern consoles, because I could see a lot of people getting really into that with like how many people love Armored Core 6 and Mech Warrior and shit like that. But Nintendo, it's got its thumb up his ass, and just won't bring the series back. This fucking joke is getting so old, I can tell.
So I know there's another game on the GameCube called Gotcha Force. Is that similar to Custom Robo? Because I get those two mixed up in my head all the time.
That sounds familiar.
Because that's a Capcom game. I know it's like, I think on the GameCube it's like $500 now, but I thought it was something similar where it's like, you know, you use robots to like fight each other or something. But I think that game it's like they're toy robots.
Yeah, that is kind of similar.
Okay.
Custom Robo is kind of the same way because like your I guess your characters, when they get into a battle, this little like small box will come up. That's your Holosseum, and then they'll launch like tiny cubes into the Holosseum, and then the cubes will hatch into your custom Robo, which the Robo is like maybe 38 centimeters tall or some shit. I was reading for that blog article.
You remember the lore?
I did. Yeah, it's a really sweet game. I don't think it's very expensive now, surprisingly, but
yeah, it's one of the few that hasn't completely shot up like crazy, I think.
It's got a fucking banging soundtrack too. Like, look that shit up. It's wicked, dude.
You made your kid to that soundtrack.
I wish I did.
Oh, Custom Robo, complete in box, $80.
That's not bad. Compared to the other shit, it's not bad.
Fair enough. Compared to like Gotcha Force.
How much
Magic the Gathering?
How much is Eternal Darkness? That's got to be pretty fucking high up there. Like, that's one that people want.
I have it over there.
Me too.
I don't have, the only thing I don't have is the manual.
$88. Damn.
Oh, that's it for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Gotcha Force is like $600.
Dude, or like, what is it, Cubivore? That thing's like $1,000.
It's a fun game, but it's not worth that price.
No. Nave, what expensive game do you like?
Super Mario Sunshine. To finish the trifecta of scary games in a mansion. Which is literally the opposite of all of that. But Super Mario...
It's weird how divisive Sunshine is for some people.
I don't know what people are so upset about, because I like shooting water at water. I love this tech demo. Man, that liquid looks good.
Mario 128.
Yeah, so they're shooting water at water like objects, and you're collecting things. But I like the music. I like the vibe. Mm-hmm. Everything's very chill and pretty looking. We're all in HD and stuff.
One of my favorite parts of that game is like how whole the island feels, because you'll be in one like level or area of the island, and you can like use your first person view kind of thing to look and see other parts of the island. Like, you could see like the Ferris wheel from the carnival place, or you could see like the scaffoldings and like cranes and shit from the harbor. Like that shit's,
you can see Corona Mountain.
Yeah, exactly. That shit's super rad.
Yeah.
Like
Delfino Delfino Plaza is probably like one of my favorite hub worlds in any game ever. Like, it's so much fun to just kind of fuck around in there, and just like, there's a bunch of shines there as well, but like, you can mess with all the different flood abilities. You can find all the little hidden secrets that are in there, and
everything's super memorable too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Peach's Castle is cool.
It's that Nintendo polish, man.
Like, Peach's Castle is cool, but fuck, the whole place is samey as hell, and it's kind of hard to find where you need to go sometimes. But Delfino Plaza, it's just like volcano or amusement park. Like,
yeah. Like, it's a rare case of Nintendo taking like a gimmick and a theme and just running with it, you know? Because they're much better at, like, say take like Mario Galaxy, for example, where all the weird gimmicks and ideas in that game, they do a good job of like implementing them in little bits. You know, they're like, they don't overdo it. You know, they pace everything out to keep you engaged. This game, they're just like, no, fuck, flood the whole time. Like, we're just gonna go nuts with it. And I think it might be off-putting for some people, you know, because Sunshine isn't as well refined as, say, like 64 or Galaxy or even Odyssey, but it is so full of personality and charm that in many ways, I think it eclipses those games, just in terms of just being able to enjoy Nintendo just going nuts, like just being experimental, because this was Nintendo's experimental era. You know, they were trying all sorts of weird stuff because, you know, they were matching the power of the other two at the time. And, you know, they hadn't done anything weird with the controller or anything. I mean, they were trying to do some experimental stuff, but they were just being like, okay, let's, you know, have Luigi be the main star in this game, or, you know, let's have Mario do, you know, have a vacation and he rolls up his sleeves and do that kind of stuff.
He rolls up his sleeves.
He does. Yeah. We get some forearm action.
You know what's weird? I just realized that both of these games are like cleaning based. Luigi's walking around with a vacuum and Super Mario's walking around with a fucking power washer.
And they're both made by EGAD.
Well,
because when you meet Flood, he references
that's
EGAD.
True.
Yeah, that fucking bastard just wants him to clean everything. He's such an old man, doesn't want to do anything himself, but he can invent.
He's too lazy to do it himself. Like he fucking talks about that too.
He invented a fucking sentient power washer. Why doesn't he just give it legs?
They should have done like a Pokemon kind of thing where there's like the two versions, and Luigi's would be like Super Mario Suck, and then the other one is Super Mario Blow.
Ooh, it's like Pokemon.
Now we're talking.
Pokemon Spin, Pokemon Swallow.
That'd get me to play a Pokemon game.
Pokemon Fist and Pokemon Foot.
And your starter is Vaporeon.
Fist and Foot. Pokemon Punch and Pokemon Kick. Oh boy. Thrak, what's your last one?
All right, my last one. It kind of, I put it next to Hit and Run because I think they're both kind of known for being kind of like cult hits. But this one probably won't come as a big surprise. Battle for Bikini Bottom. I had to. I fucking had to, right? Like, this is such a notorious game these days, you know? Like, I remember when it came out, you know? Always been a big SpongeBob fan. Like, I watched the series premiere as a kid. Like, I remember when it debuted. And from the debut to the movie, you know, I just kind of lived and breathed SpongeBob. It was my shit. And I still hold the series in well regard. And when Battle for Bikini Bottom came out, it was like, holy shit, like this game is fantastic. Because at the time I had a Game Boy Advance, and a friend of mine, she had the copy. She had, what was it? It was the Flying Dutchman game, but it was the GBA one, and we played that a lot. And it's okay, it's perfectly fine. But Battle for Bikini Bottom was more what I was looking for, because it's like, oh, it's like a Mario game, because that's essentially what it is. Mm-hmm. Is that it's, you know, a collectathon 3D platformer in the SpongeBob world, and it's surprising that it's just very well made. You know, like it was made by was it Heavy Iron Studios. They also did that Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights game, which is pretty good. You know, they had a knack for doing some like pretty solid license games, because they also did the SpongeBob movie game, which is in the same engine as Bikini Bottom, but it's a little bit different. But yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom, it's just it's another example, same with like Simpsons Hit and Run, where it's the dev team knew the license and they were able to do the license justice while also making a fun game to play, which can be a hard line to toe when it comes to license games, because it's either you try to make a good game, but you kind of don't keep up with like the license, or you do a bunch of fan service, but it's at the sacrifice of, you know, the game being actually any good. So Battle for Bikini Bottom does a good job. I mean, hell, it got a remake, which was like the most random remake I could have ever imagined happening. And the remake is good. You know, it's a good way to play the game, but I still prefer the original. I think it controls better, even though the remake looks a lot better. But Purple Lamp, who did the remake, they did their sequel, Cosmic Shake, which was them kind of refining their Battle for Bikini Bottom into something a bit more original. And that game, I think, was really solid for what it was. But yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom, I recommend playing the original if you can get your hands on it. It had a bit of a resurgence in the speedrunning community, which I think is what kind of boosted its cult status. Yeah, of course. But yeah, it still surprisingly holds up. It's probably the only game I've 100%ed more than once. Like, I've 100%ed this version like twice, and then I've 100%ed the remake. So, and I've thought about 100%ing the remake again, because all you have to do is get the 100 golden spatulas, I forget how many Patrick socks there are. I think it's like 50, and then you're good. So yeah, I love it to death.
I don't have a whole lot of experience with SpongeBob games, but
Same.
Philip just recently played one, and he had it in the notes, and I think it was it's going to be 2 episodes ago, our Party Animals episode, and on the art, I always do fucking cursed art for our episodes, and I put the SpongeBob in the fucking picture he put in the notes because it looks so fucking disgusting and cursed. So I kind of want to show you guys that.
Yeah, which SpongeBob is that? Because I'll probably know which game it is.
Let me see. Does this
We
work?
put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, in the Discord, in the Zencaster, where all the Fs are. You see the fucking SpongeBob?
Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure that's about for Bikini Bottom, because like the lighting, like shader options they use are weird. Like SpongeBob, they're all lit where it's like the light's coming below them, so it looks like it's like the flashlight. Let me tell you a spooky story.
I love that your dog.
Like I don't know fucking why they did that.
Fucking Aaron's dying of all over thumbnails.
Oh man,
I put my dog in every thumbnail in precarious situations. Someone called me out on that because in our Starfield one that we did with Main Quest, Molly's in there, but I made her black and white to blend in with the robot Vasco in Starfield, and I also made her look like dead because Vasco's a robot, but she's hard to see, so she's like fucking like she looks like Stephen Hawking essentially, but a dog.
woof.
Yeah,
I was trying to do a Stephen Hawking voice, but I can't.
I can't. Woof.
Oh, I see it because I just pulled it up. Yeah.
Holy shit.
We do very low effort thumbnails over at Gaming Together.
They're fucking good though. Like, holy shit. Any final thoughts before we move on to the sex box?
I have good memories of the GameCube. More so than the PlayStation and the Dreamcast, I think.
I mean, there's a lot of bangers we didn't talk about.
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter.
It's okay.
You fly around as the guy from Halo, but
Oh,
blue.
Star Fox Assault. That was such
that's a good game.
That's such a sweet multiplayer. Holy shit.
Yeah. Because after they did Star Fox Adventures, and they're like, maybe we shouldn't have made a furry bait game. Let's make an actual Star Fox game. Assault it's good. I like it. Yeah. I mean, fuck, we didn't talk about Wind Waker or Metroid Prime or Melee.
No, fuck it. No other games are good. We mentioned our favorites. All the other games suck ass. That's how SuperPod Saga goes.
You heard it here first, folks. Fuck Metroid Prime.
Fuck it, dude.
Don't even know what that is.
Exactly. All right.
Who's this Metroid guy?
You should do, Nave, you need to do a Photoshop of Samus, but like put your dog's face in the helmet. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. If I knew how to animate GIFs, I would, like from Metroid Dread of like in the elevator of the thing, but it's like Molly's face getting the light going over it. Yeah,
that'd be great with Metroid Prime. Like when like you shoot a projectile and like sometimes it'll light up like Samus's eyes, and then you do that, but it's cool. You do that, but it's your dog's eyes.
She's like, well, yeah, let's go to the Xbox, and I've got some fucking weird picks, but like I like these games.
I will say this is the only console in this that I've never owned. I've never owned an original Xbox. I've been thinking about buying one because I thought it'd be for shits and giggles. But I had a 360 which was backwards compatible, so I played a lot of OG Xbox games on that.
Yeah.
And through the backwards compatibility program on the one in series, I've played a lot of OG Xbox games on there as well. So
yeah,
I have experience with the OG Xbox despite never owning one.
I was gonna say this is the one that if you were to miss, it's the most convenient one because it's the only one of the big three that gives a flying fuck about the older games in any meaningful way.
Exactly. Yeah. But I remember back in the day, I knew a guy who had the original Xbox. It was back in I was in the Boy Scouts for a little bit, and I went over to his house, and he was playing. I'm pretty sure he was playing Blinks the Time Sweeper on his original Xbox.
Hell yeah!
Kid, I was
fellow
like,
furry.
Ooh, and I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. I still have yet to play Blinks. So.
It's actually pretty fucking good. Like it holds up.
I've heard good things. Yeah,
holds up pretty well.
It's on Game Pass.
Another vacuum cleaner game.
Yeah, another Mario suck.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Direct competition.
The oh man, so but yeah, my this was also one that I didn't own. My stepbrother Devin, he had an Xbox, and
bro.
Devin
I'm stuck in this
Won't
cave.
go to heaven.
I'm stuck in your Xbox.
Yeah, he had an Xbox. We played the fuck out of Halo, of course.
Yeah.
We also one time rented Fusion Frenzy from a no, it's from an actual rental place, not a gas station. No, Fusion Frenzy was good. I watched him play a fuck ton of a game that I'll get to in a little bit because I really fucking love that game. But what cool memories do you guys have with the Xbox?
I have a specific memory. So I used to, some of my best friends for like a semester of school were these guys, Jamal, Terrell, and Sydney. And I would walk 3 blocks to their house every day and we would play games. And they had a GameCube and an Xbox. I myself just had the Xbox. And I would throw that shit in my backpack and it would take up the whole backpack. And then I would jog down to their house and we would system link and play Halo and stuff like that. I specifically remember one time in the middle of a winter, in the middle of it was a ice storm that knocked so many people's powers out.
Fuck.
And my house didn't have power, but down the street, my friends, Jamal, Sydney, Terrell, they all had power. And so I brought my Xbox to their house. Well, I wasn't allowed to stay the night, but their mom fell asleep early. And so I just stayed and I just kept playing Need for Speed Underground 2 or something.
Fuck
and
yeah.
Eventually, I was making noise and fucking hooting and hollering, and she wakes up and she's like, "You're not supposed to be here. You need to go home." And I was like, "Fuck." And I don't think she knew what time it was, but it was like 5 a.m. And so I was like, okay, well, I went home. I just walked home in the like fucking shin-high snow, and a cop comes up behind me. And he's like, "What are you doing out here?" And I'm like, "I'm walking home. Like, what do you think I'm doing?" And then he's like, "It's dark." And I looked up in the sky and the sun was coming up. And I'm like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "What do you mean it's not dark?" And I was like, "What do you mean it's not dark?" And so he brought me to my mom, like banged on the door. And he was like, "Does your son take medication?" Like he gave her the fucking gauntlet. Right? And I just wanted to go and play fucking Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. And I'm just being held. This cop, it was holding me by my arm. Like I was fucking committing arson. He's like, he checked my backpack and everything. He was like, "What? Like, you expected to find Molotov cocktails and a bandana in there? What do you want?" There's an Xbox and 2 controllers. Like, come on.
Is this
come
a
on,
bomb,
guy.
sir?
Yeah.
Fuck.
A cab.
Yeah, a cab, man. They fucking profiled me, this fucking 15-year-old boy at 5 a.m. in the snow.
Fuck, dude.
Saying it's not dark.
I mean, it is a little sus, but still.
That's the best part. Like the fucking sun. What do you mean?
Yes! I was genuinely confused because the sun was coming up, man.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh, this is unrelated. I remember this one time. There's this big amusement park in Iowa called Adventureland. And there was one time my dad and my uncle and my stepbrother and I, we all went there for like a weekend, and we came back. And on the way back, we got pulled over. And I think it was my uncle had weed on him or something. And,
Classic uncle maneuver.
And he tried to hide it underneath the seat. Of course, the cop found it, and they were questioning all of us as to like whose weed it was. and my brother and I we were like, I think like 11 or something at that time. And the cop's talking to us. He's like, do you know whose marijuana this is? And I was like, I was 11. I didn't fucking know. I was like, I have no idea whose that is.
It's
sir.
mine.
He was
I don't
like,
even know what that is.
And this cop straight up was like bullshit, asshole. Like, you tell me whose this is right now.
Pushes you down to the ground.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man, like, I'm fucking 11, dude. I don't even know what that is. What do you do with it?
God, what a piece of shit.
Do you... No, I'm not going to... Do you shove it up your ass? No, no, it's stale at this point. Yeah.
Just do it.
That's the alcohol. Okay. That's the vodka tampons, not the marijuana.
The vodka tampon. Holy shit. Any other cool memories before we go to the games?
It's heavy.
It is
I remember
fucking
that.
heavy, dude.
It's got a hard drive.
It can hold so many fucking songs, dude. You can hold so much DMX on that little bitch.
Yeah.
I had so many songs downloaded.
So much
on
DMX.
In fact, I think some Xbox games go up to 720p, which back then was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Its original controller kind of sucked, so they took the Japanese one and made it the standard one, and it's not much better.
I thought the Duke's whenever I had the Duke and then I got the smaller one, and then as I got older, before I sold the Xbox for the PS2, I was starting to be like, oh, my hands fit the Duke now. This is more comfortable than the smaller one suddenly. Then I got the tiny fucking the tiny children's toy that are PlayStation controllers. They're like these little claw grip hand thingies. I'm like, oh man, this is interesting. I wish I just had I want a Mad Catz controller just to fit my hands now. My big manly American hands.
Or that
my cheeseburger gripping fingers.
Yeah, I think there's like a wireless PS2 controller. I think it was made by Logitech. That's really good. You gotta look it up.
Fuck yeah. Logitech. Those are the guys that had that made the controller for the fucking submarine that blew up.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
That blew up. Holy shit.
Yeah. See, I never held a original Xbox
submarine.
Yeah, I never held an original Xbox controller until after the 360 came out. So
that thing is a monster, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was used to the 360 controller, which is, pretty close to perfection.
Yes.
So going back to that, I'm like, ew, what the fuck is this shit?
The black and white buttons, dude. What the fuck is that?
I loved the black and white buttons.
That's so weird.
They were so mystical. I was like, whoa.
They were. Because they're trying to invent new buttons, and they're like, just more
press
more
black.
It's so weird. They continued to do that because now
playing the game black.
I have a stupid ass fucking. I'm gonna say stupid. This Elite controller is amazing, but I have an Elite 2. The Xbox One and Xbox Series S's. They have the fucking box within a box, and then the hamburger button. I don't know what they're actually called, but that's what I talk.
Hamburger.
It's like I play games with people that are like 21 years old, and they don't remember.
Probably see them.
Oh yeah, you can see them way better on your controller.
2 boxes and 3 lines.
Yeah, box within a box, and then hamburger.
Yeah, like I still call them start and select.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. Is I was like,
that's just my age.
Just hit select, and then they're like, "What? What button is select?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm fucking so old,
dude."
Yeah, I know.
Fucking,
I miss those buttons, man. Because now it's like options and share or plus and minus. I'm like, god damn it, start and select.
Yeah, but share isn't even the select button. It's the fucking pushing in the touchpad, and I'm just like the godforsaken piece of shit that made the touchpad on the PS4. I just want to strangle him. Oh my god.
If that thing wasn't so fucking big, it'd be fine.
Yeah, or you know what it would be? Because they had a touchpad on the back of the Vita, and that was tight because your fingers were back there naturally. So if they had a touchpad on the back of the PS4 controller rather than the front, it would be better, and then you could do cool shit with it.
Yeah, like where your hands normally rest, you could just have the little like touchpad thingies.
Yeah,
like, that would have been good. That would have been good controller design. But Sony does not know good controller design. I said it.
Dude, they don't. They don't fucking know good console design either. Have you seen the new consoles, the slim ones?
Dude, they
those were leaked a while ago.
They increased the fucking price of the digital only console to like $450, and then the external disc drive is $80.
Got a fucking
and the vertical stand is $30.
07 for fucking Jim Ryan.
Stand. It's still like stands to just lay your console on flat or stand it up is so fucking ridiculous, man.
Just one more giant dildo holding fuck you from Jim Ryan as he fucking leaves the company. God damn you. My fucking favorite thing. I made a tweet about this whenever I first saw it. Or whenever it was first announced officially. So I have always said that the PlayStation 5 disc version looks like it's pregnant. And so now that they're slimmer, it looks like it went from 3 months pregnancy to 9 months pregnancy. Like, it looks incredibly... It looks so visibly pregnant that now normal people are saying that it's pregnant rather than fucking weirdos like me. So it's like...
It's a detachable disc drive, so she gives birth.
Yeah, you give birth.
That's true.
It sheds the baby weight.
Congratulations! It's a Blu-ray drive.
Congratulations!
I don't know what gender that is.
Fucking
that's
useless
$80.
thing.
It's $80.
It's stupid though because so the actual disc version is $500, but then you get the discless version which is $450. But if you want to get the fucking optional disc drive, God forbid you fucking get buyer's remorse, you're going to end up paying more for the discless version with the disc drive than you would for like the actual fucking version with the disc in it.
It's
so
an extra.
stupid.
It's an extra $30 that you don't need to spend.
Stupid.
But it's also like disc drives aren't even that expensive.
No, you're paying for the aesthetic.
of a pregnant console.
Yes,
I mean,
Dude.
everyone's got their fetishes, man. I mean, whatever, man. I can't judge.
they do.
true.
It exists
I don't
on it exists on X videos, man. I saw it.
Videos.
Yeah, the Elon Musk website. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my favorite game. Well, not my favorite. One of my favorite games on the original Xbox. Let's go with Voodoo Vince, dude.
Oh, I've never played Voodoo Vince.
I didn't play it until I've only played the remastered version, but I feel like
Okay.
I know it now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
But-
I didn't even know there was a remaster of it until I remember I was hanging out with Bill, and Bill was going on about Voodoo Vince, and I was like, let me look this up, and I saw the remaster. I still haven't bought it yet.
it's dirt cheap. Like it's $15, but it's on sale quite often for like maybe $5 or $7.
Yeah, I'll get it on sale.
And it's cool because it's like, I guess it'd be kind of more like Mario Sunshine than like Mario 64, because there's like, instead of being like a big open level, you're in like smaller contained levels, but you have to complete little, basically each level has this like end goal you're supposed to meet, whether it's like you have to jam with this like skeleton jazz musician and he'll let you pass, and in order to do so you have to, there's like really fucking sweet puzzles where you have to like in this area anyway, like you change time to where like you can go take fucking trumpet lessons at this one place, but before you do that you have to go get money from doing something stupid. But there's all sorts of like cool fucking puzzles in it, and of course the little voodoo powers that you can do, like they're with the enemies in Voodoo Vince, like you have like a regular spin attack or like a 1-2 punch kind of thing like Mario, but you also have your voodoo powers, which take out multiple enemies in this big fucking area, and you'll have all sorts of cool different little voodoo powers you'll unlock along the way. Like you'll get one where he just gets his head lopped off by a chainsaw, or and whatever happens to like Vince with his voodoo power also happens to the enemies as well too. So like there's another one where he gets eaten by piranhas, or one where he gets electrocuted by like a car battery or some shit. There's all sorts of fucking wild ones, and yeah, it's just a really fucking surprisingly solid platformer that was on the Xbox that like nobody knows about, and it's a shame because it's really fucking good.
Did Microsoft make it?
They didn't. I think it was developed by like Beep Studios or something like that. They published it though.
Beep Industries.
Beep Industries. There we
Yeah, I
go.
don't know.
Classic
Yeah.
game developer that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is one of those games that I did not know about at the time. But I didn't have an Xbox in 2003, and in recent years, I've started to hear about it more and more, and it's made me curious. So I should give it a try.
The graphical style really reminds me of
Glover.
anything Tim.
Glover.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Like fucking, you can't pause when you say statements like that, or I'm just gonna say a random game.
It reminds me a lot of like Psychonauts or like anything Tim Schafer would
Yeah,
make. Because
it gives off Tim Schafer vibes,
a lot of,
which is
like,
weird because Psychonauts wasn't out yet. That was 2005.
Oh shit, that's true.
Yeah, because Psychonauts notoriously took a long time to make, as did Psychonauts 2.
Yeah,
Still haven't played either.
great games though.
That's what I hear.
Nave?
It's really fucking weird that you guys are just randomly like, let's talk about Psychonauts, because that's the game that I have at number 1. It's Psychonauts. So that's what we're gonna talk about.
Cool game.
Yeah.
This was a very unique time for me because when I first got the Xbox, I was for the first time in my life I had digital cable, like satellite cable or whatever it was called back then, and so I had the G4 TV channel, and I was yet again in a area
G4.
where I couldn't leave the house. Really, it was summer and it was a really hot summer, and I was like in the woods, like there was nothing around. I'd go play in the woods and I'd come inside and then I would go into the house and then I would play Psychonauts and watch G4. And I got Psychonauts just because there was a show called Cheat on there, and they showed a bunch of like locations of where all of this hidden stuff was. So I had all of this like information in my brain for Psychonauts, but I didn't have the game, so I really needed it. And turns out Psychonauts is an unbelievably charming platformer that I feel like everybody needs to play. And if you have an Xbox, you have no excuse because these games are so easily accessible. The game is very cheap. You can also play it on not cheap, short. You can also play it on Steam for pretty cheap, and it has controller support on Steam as well. But the game is so charming and fun. The Tim Schafer Double Fine charm is definitely there from all of their games. This is probably, it's not as good as Psychonauts 2, which was incredible because those two games are so far apart. But so it's like an unachievable amount of hype Psychonauts 2 had, and then like from the fucking 15 Psychonauts fans out there, but then Psychonauts 2 really did deliver, and it made me go back and play Psychonauts 1 and admire it as an adult as well, because there's a lot of it's a very childlike game, but like there's a lot of adult humor in it, like Toy Story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of Buzz Lightyear jokes in there and stuff like that.
Lightyear. Like the milkman and his whole fucking weird fetishy shit.
It's so interesting whenever you're coming at it from like a maybe even a psychological standpoint, just kind of looking at all of these different situations, because it's all about diving into people's psyche and figuring out what's wrong with them. Like all of the collectibles, because this is a platformer collectathon. They're all like emotional baggage and other things, or like they're vaulted memories, basically repressed memories. That's what like you're trying to collect in these games, or like there are a bunch of things called figments of your imagination, and you're like collecting those, and those are like the fucking Pac-Man dots that are littered all over the map that you're just encouraged to go grab. So these games are really awesome, and they have a soft spot in my heart, because this was really when I decided to start playing video games. Really. Like, this is directly hot off the heels of the GameCube, and my second location of being just trapped in a fucking box. So I was like, there's a lot of games on the Xbox that really mean a lot to me. So it's gonna be weird to pick only 3 of them, but
yeah,
Psychonauts.
That's a good one. That's a damn good one.
And they're also both on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it's well worth it.
Oh yeah.
So I actually have both of them installed on my series. I just haven't had the time to get around to them yet.
Yep. Psychonauts 2 is fucking amazing. But it's good enough to where you don't have to play the first Psychonauts, but the first Psychonauts is not that long. Go play it. It's good.
Oh, yeah. Might as well play both. It's just 2 games.
And the second game takes place right after the first, like right after it.
Yeah.
Thrak, how about you?
All right. So I only have one visual aid for the Xbox, but this is... I played this game more on the PS2 back in the day, but the version I have now is the Xbox version, which is probably the better version anyways, but... because in the PS2 I mentioned how I love the Star Wars Battlefront games, so we're going to keep that going with Mercenaries.
Oh, I know this
one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Destruction. Yes, good old Pandemic Studios. In fact, I learned about this game through the Star Wars Battlefront games, because I think it was the first one. Like, I think it was the back of the manual had an advertisement for this game, and I was like, ooh, what's this? And I looked it up, and it looked really appealing to me, and then I was able to get it, and I played the shit out of this game as a kid. And I've never officially beaten it, but it is like a big open world game, and there's a lot to do in it. So basically, you get dropped off into the DMZ between North and South Korea as one of the 3 mercenaries on the cover, and your goal is to take out the deck of 52, which is 52 of the most important
high value targets.
High value targets in North Korea, with like, you know, their Kim Jong-un being the ace of spades and then going down, obviously. But in the meantime, you have these different factions. You know, you have the UN, the Russian mafia, China, and South Korea. And they're all kind of in conflict with each other as well, because, you know, maybe some are allied with North Korea, some aren't. And you have like the Russian mafia who's just trying to make money during the whole thing. But there are those conflicts between all those factions, and you have to try to keep those relationships good, because then they can give you the contracts to take out the members of the deck of 52. Though some you can just kind of find throughout the world as well. So there's an interesting sort of juggling of all of these different factions, because you'll start doing, like, say, missions for the Russian mafia, and at first you're just taking out North Korean targets, you know, whatever. And then they're like, oh, the South Korean people are giving us shit. Can you go take care of them? And then you take care of them, but then it messes with your relationship with them, which then you have to try to improve later so you can get the missions for that. So you have that balancing act, and then it's just this big open world to explore, and it's just a lot of fun, man. There's a lot of little side stuff to do, and it's definitely a game that felt like it took the GTA formula, but it did something completely different with it. And it still stands up in my opinion because it doesn't feel like a GTA clone. It feels like Mercenaries, because the sequel, Mercenaries 2 World in Flames, that feels more like a GTA clone or closer to, say, like Just Cause, because I think Just Cause was out at that point. That game's also really good, but I think the original holds up far and away much, much better.
I was going to bring up that too, the Just Cause game.
Yeah, Just Cause is pretty... I played the first one and I never cared for it, but I'm told the sequels are a lot better.
Yeah, 3 is really fun.
Just Cause 2, even that one is really good. I think that one's backwards compatible.
Also, Just Cause has...
I think it is.
Just Cause has one of those fucking magical fucking titles where it's really good. Like Just Cause, because it is a just cause, the revolution, but also you're blowing shit up just cause. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, it's so good.
It's just, and I remember when the first game was coming out, it was advertised as like, oh, it's this big open world, it's like, oh, this map is like massive, right? And then you play the game and it's like, there's not that much to do, like they could have cut that map down to like a third of its size and it would have been a much better game. Because the actual bits where you're doing stuff is fun, but it's just such a fucking pain to get from one place to another, It kind of has the issue that, say, some of the more modern Assassin's Creed games do, just being too big for their own good.
Big agree.
Hell yeah. Let's talk about SSX on tour.
Okay.
Whoa, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Yeah, totally.
Fucking one of the few... Well, I guess I've never been like a really big fan of sports games unless it's like Tony Hawk or like a snowboarding game that's really entertaining. But
EA Sports big.
Yeah, big.
Dude, yes.
SSX
I debated on putting one of those on the list.
See, I would have picked Tricky. Tricky's the one I loved.
Yeah, On Tour is the one that I've played the most out of the entire series. My stepbrother Devin and I, we had like this entire basement at my dad's house to ourselves as our room that we shared basically, and we decked the fuck out of it with like shit. This is unrelated kind of, but like we had shit tons of lights all over the place and it was just fucking awesome. And we would just sit down there for hours at a time and either like watch fucking G4 or like Spike, or we would play video games. And SSX on Tour is one we played a lot of. And we would make our own characters, or we would play as one of like the goofy fucking the goofy unlockable characters you could get, like the fucking unicorn, or like the doodle guy, or like there's all sorts of cool shit. I know like the GameCube version you could unlock Mario and Luigi and shit, but
oh yeah, it was that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one that was.
And it is bizarre because they are so disproportionately different from the rest of the characters.
Yeah. It's like NBA Street Volume 3 on the GameCube. You can get Mario, Luigi, and Peach.
Oh my god,
Yep.
It looks so weird.
But yeah, it had a fucking really cool soundtrack too. It's like the main song for the game was "Run to the Hills" by Iron Maiden, and that was pretty fucking cool. And the like the main story mode thing, like the tour mode, I remember that being super fun. We wasted so many fucking hours on that game and all the dumb little fucking guest characters that were in it. It's great. I love that game.
All right, second game. So sticking with the color green. With Psychonauts Xbox, I want to talk about Jade Empire.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, all right.
This game is fucking phenomenal. This is BioWare. This is peak BioWare with this awesome Asian culture RPG with different fighting styles as kind of like the thing that you're building up. I don't particularly remember a lot about this game. I just remember how much I enjoyed the dialogue system and fighting with weapons and learning different fighting styles and building on that and stuff. And this is another backwards compatible game on the Xbox. It is just such a interesting, aesthetically pleasing game that really lets you get nitty gritty with the RPG mechanics in there. There's a morality system that changes your appearance, a la Fable or, KOTOR coming from before. And it is, when you play it, you can definitely feel like the precursor of Mass Effect, It's very cool and interesting. And there's a little bit of Dragon Age in there too.
Mm-hmm. It was super fucking unique for the time because I don't think Well, even now, like I don't think there is anything like that game now, unless you
Yeah.
play some like Chinese MMO or some shit.
It's freaking tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely a time where Western RPGs, particularly console Western RPGs, were still in their infancy. Because console RPGs had been, your Final Fantasies for the longest time. So to see, BioWare and even Bethesda a little bit with the Morrowind port on Xbox starting to kind of figure out how we can consoleize Western RPGs. It shows the bit of creativity as well. Because there was also another game around this time. I don't know if you guys remember, called Gladius, which was like it was like a LucasArts RPG.
I feel
where
like I can see the cover art in my mind's eye.
Where that became backwards compatible recently, and it's you're a gladiator. And like the whole story is based on like trying to become like the best gladiator and participating in like those battles. And that's a really unique game for its time as well. But it has that like kind of LucasArts charm to it.
It is crazy because this is exactly what I had in my mind's eye. I didn't know.
It's a solid game. I'd recommend it.
There was another really good, like I guess Diablo. No, it was more like Baldur's Gate. I guess there was Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on GameCube. That was really good. There was this game on PS2 called, I think it was Champions Return to Arms, and that game
sounds familiar.
That game was good as hell. And I remember, oh my god, okay, so with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, I had that on the GameCube, and there was this one level toward the end I couldn't beat, and so I resorted to cheating, like I was just a little kid, and I was just like, I don't want to have to grind or whatever the fuck. So to enter like the cheat menu, you had to hold down left trigger, right trigger, A, B, and start. And like with the GameCube being as weird as it was, like the start button was like in the middle of the fucking controller, and my fingers couldn't reach it, so I had to like use my tongue to press the start button. And then yeah, it was cool.
Start/pause.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. Start/pause.
Yeah.
I think it's wild though because like Jade Empire, the aesthetic of this game around this time, it's like the closest thing you could really get to it, like, with this like Eastern Chinese mythology, was like Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
That's true. Yeah.
Like where else are you getting the like even now? Like you were saying, like you have to play with these. You have to play these specifically Chinese games.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but like China through a Western eye is just so interesting to me. Or like even similar, like seeing America through a Japanese eye is like extremely captivating to me. I'm like, this is cool. Like, or even like, so I was playing Catherine.
Nice.
What was I just about to say? Oh, so I was playing this game called Catherine, and Atlas is infamous for just having so much Western religious iconography in all of their games, and even like Western mysticism and stuff like that. It is so cool and interesting to see their interpretations of stuff like that. And it's the same with Jade Empire because it is an American game. It's similar to how like Ghost of Tsushima is like this romanticized version of Japan, of like Edo period Japan. It's just so cool. I love these kinds of like takes, like respectful takes on like different cultures.
I hate to be that guy, but BioWare is a Canadian team, not American.
Oh, fucking wump.
That's
North
whatever.
American.
Yeah.
The Americas.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Well, I'm an American,
they're based in Edmonton.
I'm an American, and everything in North America is America.
Even Mexico.
Yes, even Guatemala, wherever that is.
Guatemala.
That is not in North America,
Dude. There's this video of an American and a European like trying to do geography like trivia, and the American gets fucking dumpstered. It is so funny how little we give a shit about the rest of the world.
Yeah,
we suck. It's so funny, but I don't know either. I don't know where the fuck Guatemala is at.
Oh, I just looked it up. It is just south of Mexico, so it's in that Central America.
I was thinking South America. God damn it.
Yeah,
because there's like Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and then Panama, and then that's I think when you hit South America.
A plan, a canal, Panama. Speaking of Panama, what's your next one, Thrak?
Yeah, because I'm notoriously from Panama.
Yeah, it's fucking Guitar Hero Van Halen. That's your pick.
Oh god. Oh god. That
Might
game
as well
sucks.
jump.
That game fucking sucks.
Dude, I fucking thought the fucking synth part in this is so weird to loop around to, but the synth part in Jump from Van Halen, I thought it was the same song from Wave Race 64. Can you see the fucking connection though? Because they're like,
I can hear it.
It is like the same song. It is so crazy.
I kind of hate that I can hear it now.
I'm sorry that I did that to you. I had to get that out though. I had to fucking get that out of me.
I'm gonna jump off a fucking bridge. All right. Okay, so my game, the next one is a game I wish, or at least a series I wish Microsoft would return to, and that is Crimson Skies: High Road to Revenge.
It's a cool one.
Hell yeah.
Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. I didn't get to play this until I played it through the backwards compatibility program. And, I'd heard about this game for a while. And so when I finally got to sit down and play it, I really, really enjoyed it. It was fantastic because it gave me that like Rogue Squadron vibe. It's kind of that more, I don't want to say like arcade flying game or like arcade flight or something, but it kind of has that sort of feeling to it. Like it's not flight sim or anything, but I really enjoyed the world building. It gives me like Indiana Jones vibes, because it's set in like the 30s and the whole thing is like, oh, like there's no cars. It's just all planes and zeppelins and shit. And so you have like these like plane gangs or whatever, like causing ruckus and like the cities are all built like vertically. Yeah, they're all built vertically, and it's just like you're trying to like avenge the death of your friend, and it's very it's weird that it's not like a LucasArts game because it feels LucasArtsy to me. I don't know. I just get like Indiana Jones, Star Wars vibes from this game, but it is really, really fucking still a fantastic game to play. Like especially if you like the Rogue Squadron games. And what's weird is this is like the second in the series because there was an original Crimson Skies that was released on the PC back in like 2000. That still to this day hasn't gotten like any port beyond that. And then it got this sequel just on the Xbox, The High Road to Revenge. And like that's all we've had from Crimson Skies ever since. I guess maybe their thinking is that like, oh, we have Flight Sim, so we don't need another series. But like this is so much fun, Like it fits in that Rogue Squadron or even like kind of Ace Combat sort of thing. Though I think Ace Combat's a little bit more sim than this. But what makes Crimson Skies so cool is that like it has lore, like kind of deep lore, because it has like an alternate like history of the U.S. and if you go to like the Wikipedia page of it, like North America is like completely set up differently in this Crimson Sky universe, and it is fascinating to read about, and it's a really fun game as well, and it's pretty short. It's about like maybe 6 hours, so it's a nice breezy playthrough. And it's not too frustrating, though the end boss is a little But overall, I would recommend Crimson Skies. And it is backwards compatible, so you can still play it. And there was a video I saw once where somebody was showing off the power of System Link on Xbox, because like all the Xboxes you still support System Link. And this one dude set up his original Xbox, his Xbox 360, his Xbox One, and his Series X to do System Link Crimson Skies. And it worked.
Holy
That's
fucking
cool.
shit.
4 generations of Xboxes could System Link to play Crimson Skies.
Is there a YouTube video for that? Like
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, do that because that is right up my alley. I love that shit.
That's nuts.
It wasn't
4 generations. I can't believe that.
Yeah, doesn't it make you feel old? Because we were like teenagers when the Xbox appeared. So it was like, okay, new kid on the block. Fuck you, the Ouya.
The Ouya.
I remember getting my fucking my 360 brand new, and then discovering Xbox Live and like the ability to fucking download games, like download a full fucking game, like that was mind blowing back then.
Yeah.
But now we're in the age where everything's right at your fingertips.
Yeah, I had a hard time back then.
That's a reference for like 2 people.
I had a hard time back then convincing my parents to let me download games online because, you had to spend money to get the Microsoft points, and then redeem them.
Microsoft points.
Yeah.
Seemed like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, and I remember
You're gonna download a virus, Thracatin, whatever your real name is.
you're going to download a virus on that Xbox. It's like, well, can I just download the demo of this game? Yeah, you can download it. So, because I remember that's how I played Doom for the first time, was the 360 version. Mega Man 9.
Fucking Phantasy Star Universe.
Mega Man 9,
Yeah,
Mega Man 10.
and then games like Braid, which I actually still haven't played. But, the 360 arcade was quite an interesting time. It's a shame it's going away, but...
I know. God damn it.
But
Yeah, dude, R.I.P. Gotham City Imposters.
Oh, I love the fuck out of that game. That was a great game.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know why that was the game that came to my mind, but
I played that well before I played the Arkham games.
I didn't know it was a Batman thing at all. I was just like, look at these funny looking guys. I don't know shit about
Look at these fucking guys.
To be fair, they don't like advertise it as like a Batman game. They just kind of expect you to do the work.
Speaking of viruses, my last game is Fable: The Lost Chapters.
Oh, Fable.
Dude, I love like the first two games so much. The third one's all right. Yeah, the first game, I remember watching my brother again. My brother Devin. I'd watched him play through all of the original Fable, and then we got the Lost Chapters. We watched him play through all of that, and then eventually I also played through the Lost Chapters on my own after I got my own Xbox many years later. Then even like the remastered or remake or whatever for the 360 Fable Anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still fucking super incredibly playable. Still really fucking good. All the different morality choices and like the cool fucking weapons and spells and just like the lore behind the world of Albion and all that shit. It's just it's a classic. Super good.
Yeah. Fable is an amazing bite-sized RPG.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible, like how digestible that game is. That's the thing that I picked up from when I beat it recently to get achieved, because the anniversary edition's a 360 game with like Fable 2 graphics. So it's like it has achievements and everything. Unfortunately, it has unobtainable achievements because they're attached to smart glass and a bunch of other dumb shit. But you can get a lot of achievements and have fun in that game, doing all kinds of chicken kicking and stuff. I love Fable. This is the first game. I have 6 games in each of these 6th generation consoles. I did not do that on purpose. I don't know why 6 is where I stopped for each console, but this is the only time that someone has picked a game that was on my list so far. Was Fable for some reason.
I have a weird history of Fable 1 because when I had my Xbox One, I downloaded the Anniversary Edition on Game Pass, and I kind of hated it. And I think it was just like I didn't like the menus. The menus were very confusing, and also and it didn't run well. But then I learned that like the Xbox One version of Fable Anniversary doesn't run well at all. But I guess the series version runs better. I still haven't tried to play it yet, but I like Fable 1 coming to it like fresh. It's very antiquated in a lot of ways. I want to give it another try, and I plan to because I've played a bit of Fable 2, and I liked Fable 2 a lot more. That was way easier to get into. I still haven't touched Fable 3, but it's funny to see like some people absolutely despise 3, and it's like I don't get it.
It's not that bad.
Yeah,
I hated it.
Terrible.
Yeah, like some people are like, I hate it. I'm like, why?
I hate it.
But why?
Well, I did.
What's wrong with it?
Well, so that I don't. It was so I didn't like Fable 2 because of how much of a departure it was from 1. Okay. I'm over here. This is the same opinion of Dragon Age, so it's like everyone knows who's coming from my podcast. But that's the thing is that 3 is a departure from 2 as well in a way. It's like the same, but like all the things that made 2 like okay, I like this to an extent was absent in 3. But we did an episode on Fable 3, and when I came back to it, I was prepared to be super negative about it, but we had a super fun time, and I was just like, oh, I mean, maybe I was just a curmudgeonly angry teenager.
Yeah,
which, of course I was.
Possible. I don't know. I feel like the criticisms I see of Fable 3 are just very overly critical for like no real reason. I think it's just when you hit the 3rd entry in a series, especially like this, I think people just tend to get more critical over time.
A lot of people hold Fable 2
very high.
Like, yeah, incredibly high.
Yes.
That's basically like the Borderlands 2 of the series where it's like, well, fuck, where do we go from perfection? And then you get to 3 and it's just not as good. But I mean, I still, it wasn't terrible to me, but it was
Yeah.
all right.
But I'm going to give
either-
Fable 1 another try. I feel like it deserves another
Oh, yeah.
shot because it is such a beloved game. And I was just like, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing kind of a situation with it. But, you know, I did like the humor, and it was definitely an interesting world with interesting characters. So I will try it again. I should do my due diligence and play the Fable trilogy.
It's a much smaller scale story, but I think
Yeah.
that's what helps it be digestible along with the length.
And Jack of Blades is a cool fucking main character too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have that reboot coming out eventually. So I feel like I should at least be familiar with those before I play the reboot.
Did either of you guys get a chance to play like the beta or whatever for Fable Legends?
No.
Nope.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
It
I
was
played
really
the
dumb.
Legend.
There's
That's not the Connect one.
No, that's
Fable Journey.
That's the Journey, I think, something like that. Yeah.
Because then I know I think Xbox Live Arcade they had, what was it, the Fable pub games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fable Legends was supposed to be this like that was supposed to be like the next Fable, but it was more or less like kind of like Left 4 Dead but Fable. One character would play as basically the director or whatever, like the main villain, and you would put enemies in different spots, and then like the 4 people will play as like the heroes, and each hero had a different skill set and shit like that.
Oh, this game.
But it was stupid.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
Yeah, they tried to like turn Fable into what, like a Baldur's Gate type thing, or
It wasn't even that. It was like
It was like Castle Crashers.
basically, yeah, Castle Crashers or like Left 4 Dead. Pretty much, you just fight hordes of
sounds
enemies.
That
and
sounds
then, like,
really
that's
dumb.
It was really bad.
They were trying to capitalize on Castle Crashers, which was a fucking enormous hit.
But when did Castle Crashers come out? Wasn't that like 2010 or something?
Yeah, that was the 360 for sure.
Yeah, and this is like
It was
an Xbox One
XBLA.
game in 2016.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Oh, I'm thinking of Fable Heroes.
Fable Heroes.
I thought this was I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Oh yeah, Fable Heroes came out.
Yeah, in the
that's
360
like
gen.
Yeah, that's like a Castle Crashers type game. Yeah.
My fault. I don't know what we're talking about then.
Fable Legends. You don't need to look it up. It's a piece of shit.
It's a canceled cooperative action role-playing video game developed by Lionhead, meant to be published. It got canceled. It got scale-bound.
And then Lionhead got scale bound.
Yeah. They're dead. And then Peter Molyneux is doing... What the fuck's he even doing these days?
Crypto or something. I don't know.
Probably.
He's hoping that acorn grows into a tree.
Dude, speaking of crypto, what's your last one, Nave?
So I'm sticking with the color green for Xbox. But this game's not green, but this boy sure do be going after that green. This is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a good one. I fucking love that game.
This game fucking messed my sense of humor up as a kid. Like, I don't know, it's such dry and strange humor. Like, this is a game where you're playing this kind of anthropomorphic animal. All the civilians are chickens. And every one of them had the same voice actor, whether they're a woman or a man. And they all go, "What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing?" as you're fucking walking by them. And I don't know. So your character, he has a crossbow. And it's a double-barreled crossbow because it's a Western game. They got to be double-barreled. And you get 2 different ammo types. There's a bunch of different ammo types. The whole game revolves around this push and pull of different ammos. But all of the ammo are living beings that you're putting into your crossbow. These like bees or roly-polies or like bats that explode. Like they're all different kinds of ammos that you have. And they each have their own unique animations and personalities and stuff. And you are a bounty hunter. Your character needs surgery, and you need a lot of money. So, or moolah. It's moolah.
Yeah, moolah.
Yep, moolah.
It's fucking great. And I don't know why, but like every time I hear like, peanut butter and jelly sandwich or whatever, anything tangentially related to molasses, I think of the password to the black market in this game, which is molasses. But when you go up to the door, this is dumb. This is the core memory for me in childhood. When you go up to the door to the black market, he asks for the password and he goes, moles asses. And I thought that was the fucking funniest thing I ever heard in my life as a kid.
It's a little funny.
Yeah, it's just a little funny, but I loved it.
It's cool that the Xbox got I'm pretty sure it got 2 exclusive Oddworld games. It got Munch's Odyssey and then that one, Stranger's Wrath.
Which is interesting because, like, I think the original Oddworld was kind of touted, like Abe's Odyssey was touted as like one of the main PlayStation like exclusives, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and even the one that came after that too, Abe's Exodus.
Yeah, and so Microsoft kind of stole it right from them, like right out of the gate, which I thought was interesting. And then weirdly enough, that series kind of just fell by the wayside. Like I've tried the Oddworld games, and Munch's Odyssey I cannot get behind at all. I love the cover of it that looks like a Mountain Dew can. I like that.
Yeah.
And Stranger's Wrath is what I've played. It is the best of the Oddworld games, but I still find it just awkward and janky to play. Like it feels like
it's so jank.
It feels Euro jank. I don't know if it is European.
Euro jank.
But it just has like it's just very weird to play, But Stranger's Wrath is playable. I did get stuck at one point, and kind of stopped playing it because I had it on the Switch because I had like the whole Oddworld collection for Switch, and
that's fucking cool.
Yeah, and it was for what it was perfectly fine. But
I think the most interesting thing about Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, besides the aesthetic, which is exquisite,
and it's
I do
bleeding
like the
with
personality.
Yeah.
But I think the most interesting thing about it is that it took a page out of Morrowind's book, and it is a game where you're constantly switching between third-person and first-person perspectives, and it is a shooter.
And I don't like that.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't like. It's like in Munch's Odyssey, we're constantly switching between the two characters. And it's like, I don't like that either.
That reminds me of Perfect Dark Zero. That game did that shit like in the weirdest way where like you take it's first person, but you take cover and then you go third person, or like it's first person and you can do a dodge roll in third person. Like you go from first, third, do the roll, and then go to first. Like that's
it's like, I don't know if you guys ever played the Rainbow Six Vegas games, but they kind of
I love it.
They figured that out where it's like those are first person shooters, but when you go into cover, it does like the third person thing. But it properly segments it, and it all makes perfect sense, And I played the shit out of those games back in the day.
Dude, I don't mean to shill my fucking thumbnail art for our podcast again, but
Dude, do it.
But
do it.
Perfect Dark Zero mentioned, and it's one of my favorites that I've ever made. Go look at that shit.
the fucking Molly, dude. Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Perfect Dark Zero mentioned.
I have the like the steelbook for Perfect Dark Zero back there.
It was a pretty incredible experience playing that game in 2023. Like I was blown away.
I don't have much experience in Perfect Dark, but I have tried to play Zero, and I remember I'm like, ooh, this is tough. This is tough.
It's a rough series.
Even when it first came out, I remember just going, I don't know about this.
Because like N64 Perfect Dark, I think is fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude.
For N64. And then the Game Boy Color one is its own interesting little beast. And then Zero, I mean, I had Zero through like Rare Replay.
Yeah.
But I remember once I was out like shopping and somebody just had the steelbook for Perfect Dark Zero in perfect condition with everything, and it was like $8. I was just like, fuck.
Oh fuck, you might as well.
Yeah, might as well. And my 360 avatar is actually one of the gamer picks that you get from that Perfect Dark Zero. It's like for some reason they give you like a little cartoon crab. And I'm like, oh, I like that. So for some reason, that's my thing. And I think my 360, because I do have a 360 down here, I think I have the Perfect Dark Zero background that they give you as well. Because I was like, why not? So
I missed that shit.
Yeah,
the 360.
Oh
like the backgrounds you could buy and like the little random fucking avatars you could buy.
But
I missed that shit.
But
same thing with the PlayStation 4. Like the PlayStation 4 themes, I thought were really cool. I bought the Final Fantasy. I bought Final Fantasy 7 the port, not the remake, but the port of the original game, and it came with a theme on the PlayStation that had played Aerith's theme, and it did all the sound effects of Final Fantasy, the menu sound effects as you moved around the menu in PlayStation 4. So like when you would accept, it go. You know what I mean? And then whenever you would go back, it would go, go backwards. Oh, it's so fucking... Like, I don't want a PS5 just because I love that theme so much. Even though my PlayStation 4 sounds like a goddamn rocket ship is fucking taking off in my living room.
Yeah, when I had my PS4, I had the Persona 5 Royal background. which was cool because it even changed like,
Hell
the
yeah.
music to like the Persona 5 music and all that, and it was fantastic.
That sounds great. I
It
love
was.
Persona 5.
My fucking 3DS, I'm constantly switching between two different themes. There's a theme modeled after the Dreamcast UI where it's got
Nice.
like all the different sounds of you moving to like the 3DS menu. It's like the sounds of you going through like the Dreamcast menu where it's like doom 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 doom, and then when you open, like when you put the console to sleep, or you know, just close it and then you open it back up, it makes like the chugging, like the beep chug 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 chug. Even though of course there's no fucking disc drive in it, just makes the sound anyway, just to be
Yeah.
true to the Dreamcast.
You said this on
then-
your 3DS?
Yeah,
Nice. I have a Dragon Quest 11 theme on my 3DS.
fuck yeah.
Because it's so easy to jailbreak that thing.
I have the
That's what everybody says.
what is that? The 3DS Zelda game where like you go into the
Link
wall.
Between Worlds.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my theme.
Nice.
They also have one based on the Sega Saturn and like the spaceship like cockpit view and everything like that.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
it plays
yeah.
that one song from Sonic R, the Supersonic Racing.
Can you feel the sunshine?
Fuck,
I love
that's
that
so
song.
good. Thrak, what's your last game? We're approaching 2.5 hours.
Damn right.
Yeah,
Have
yikes.
fun. Have fun editing this.
I mean, I'm probably not even gonna touch it. Like it's perfect so far.
So my last Xbox game, I mean, it's not really known as an Xbox game, but I'm like, fuck, its first console port was on the Xbox. It's one of my all-time favorite games. So I get to talk about Half-Life 2 again. I will talk about
Yes.
Half-Life 2 till the day I die. I
Thought you were
fucking-
going with Morrowind. I was like, ooh.
No, I'm not a Bethesda guy. Yeah, Half-Life 2. I when I discovered the Half-Life games, it was on the orange box on the
Yep.
360, which I remember I bought because I was able to convince my parents to buy it for me. Because I'm like, look, it's like 6 games in one, or well, I think it's 5 games. You know, it's like, it's such a deal. And they're like, yeah, it's a deal. You know, that'll occupy you for a while, Thrackington. And so, and it comes with Half-Life 2.
Thrakifer?
Yeah, it comes with base Half-Life 2, both episodes, which I think episode 2 is brand new when that came out.
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2, and then some Portal.
And then Portal.
Some Portal shooting game. Who gives a fuck? Anyway, Half-Life 2. I absolutely fell in love with this game when I first played it, and I don't know how many times I've beaten it. Like, it's just, it's a game I consistently go back to because it's, like, I enjoy first-person shooters, but I'm at a point in my life where it's just like I don't really like doing multiplayer games that much, unless it's either like with friends or doing like co-op stuff. But Half-Life 2, it's such an evolution in the first-person shooter genre with like having a single-player game and have it being story-focused and having a
Mhm.
really interesting story with all these, you know, really cool characters, and just it still hits, man. Like Half-Life 2, even though it's from 2004, it's still like pretty modern. Like the Source 2 engine is still a fantastic engine, which Half-Life 2 is essentially made to show off with things like the
Yeah.
gravity gun. And the gravity gun is one of the best weapons, I think, in video game history. And
Fuck yeah. Most iconic.
yeah, and it's handled so well. Like, and there's all the shit with G-Man and Alex and Dog.
I fucking love
and-
the G-Man.
Yeah, and you know, I'm one of those idiots that is still waiting for Half-Life 3. It's probably never going to happen, but if you've played Half-Life 2 and both episodes, like how episode 2 ends, it ends on such a fucking cliffhanger. And I've been sitting on that cliffhanger since when did it come out? 2008 or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and pisses me.
Fuck, I just want to
pisses
know
me
what
off.
the G-Man's deal is, man. I want to know what he is.
I'd
and, like,
rather
who he
not
is.
know, because he's one of those characters that I feel if you reveal too much about him, he becomes less interesting. You know, because people have all
That's
these
true.
theories about G-Man, and I think the most one I see all the time is that G-Man stands for God, like he's God, and it's like God just like fucking with shit,
Mhm.
you know, and like he uses Gordon as sort of the one to carry out like his will, you know, kind of like a thy will be done sort of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I prefer to theorize about G-Man rather than knowing for certain, because I feel it's one of those things, you know, it's like, you know, sometimes when horror movies have the whole, like, they never show you the monster, like, say, like Blair Witch Project, right? Like, it never shows you what the monster is, but that plays into its favor, because then your idea of what the monster is will always surpass whatever they show you on screen. And I think that kind of fits with what G-Man is, or what G-Man is supposed to represent, kind of a thing. Because it also works really well in the first Half-Life. where you just kind of see him. And it's like, what's this guy? What's his deal, right?
Yeah.
And how Half-Life 1 ends, and then how Half-Life 2 begins, and he's just always kind of there. He's just always kind of there, and wake and smell the ashes.
Rise and shine.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeman.
But yeah, I love Mr. Freeman.
And get that crowbar out your ass.
Perfect way to end the episode.
But yeah, I love me some Half-Life 2. I've been meaning to replay this. It's been a while since I've played it. So I should fire it up on Steam or something. Or no, I should get the orange box and play it on that like I did back in the day.
You should buy it digitally before it's gone forever.
Nah, I'd grab a physical of it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's a 360 game. They're cheap.
That's true. Well, that's it. Those are all the best games for the Xbox and the GameCube. All the other games suck ass. Good conclusion to our 6th gen episode. Thank you for joining me once again on this journey through the glorious 6th generation. Listeners, thanks for listening, I suppose. Whatever Tommy says at the end of an episode. Check out Gaming Together and the 3DO Experience. Check out Thrak on Twitter. Nave is also on Twitter. It's Gaming Together, talking shit about all sorts of gaming bullshit that happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my last tweet was to The Last of Us 2 getting remastered, the rumors.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I said, shoot me in the head with a fucking gun.
Hit me with a golf club.
Dude, it's
Hit
over.
me with a crowbar.
It has never been more Jover.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nave, say bye.
Oh, bye-bye.